Welcome to day 3 of the ultimate land, water, and RV show. Holy smokes, guys.
Yes.
That competition last night got heated. So heated that my man Bryce decided to take a dip twice.
I got something to say on that. You know, I'm not used to the warmer water here in Georgia, so it was so nice. I just wanted to relax in it a couple times. So, yeah, Nelly saved us there.
I went like full cycle on the beach. I'm like, what are you doing? I was just cruising past him.
Turns out you can tip in kayaks.
Yeah, it turns out.
No.
I don't actually remember anything about what competition you're speaking of. I have put that so far out of my mind. Please.
I am definitely not happy with those results over there. I'm proud of my son for
KJ.
He did a great job. He did a great job.
excited, but the competition is not over.
That is correct. That's right.
I know it's over. We've lost.
We have a showcase coming up tonight, guys, and being in first. Do you feel like you have a target on your back?
Yeah.
I'm glad you do, because you actually do. You have a target on both of your backs. So.
Oh ho!
Dang.
He's coming for you. I like it. Look out.
Yeah, that's why I fell in to try and get second place, but Nelly wouldn't let me.
That sounds about right. That sounds about right.
You
Well,
could have fell in to get third.
Or
we
fourth.
got a great day today, guys. Got a lot of action packed. Going to talk a little bit about fifth wheels, but first, it's my man Chris with Dan and Lindsay talking about weekend essentials.
You know, sometimes just getting out and about to go camping on the weekend can be one of the best trips for your mind, your soul, your family. But a lot of people are experiencing how great it can be to get to the campground, boondock, whatever. And I love it when I walk up into a campsite and I find friends like I am right now. Dan and Lindsay, what's happening, guys?
Hey, we're just enjoying ourselves here.
I see you chilling under the awning, kind of hanging out. Do you mind if I join you?
Yeah, come on.
Awesome.
Have a seat.
So, follow your detour. You guys have been full-time, you've been weekenders, you've done boondocking, you've done the whole
it all.
nine, right?
We have.
And you guys are living in Colorado now, right?
We're home based in Colorado, and just about 50% of the time is our goal to be on the road. And
Right.
It's changed a lot for us.
Yeah.
We have a baby, and we find ourselves more just doing this, just
Right.
enjoying the weekends and not feeling like we're rushing all over the place, seeing and doing as much as we can, and we're loving it.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the most beautiful countryside in the world to go camping at, too,
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah, it doesn't help, or it doesn't hurt that it's 2 hours and it's Rocky Mountains.
Yeah.
Awesome. So
So much
Yeah,
to
oh yeah,
do.
yeah. My wife's grandma had a spot on top of Cripple Creek. It was a mountain on top of Cripple Creek we used to go to. I love
great
it.
spot.
So, thank you guys for letting me come in and chat. What I wanted to ask was if I could lean on your expertise a little bit. A lot of people are out here experiencing how great it is to RV, how great it is to camp for the first time. And, you know, the RV industry, people are snagging them up as fast as they can get them. But I think there's a little of help that needs to be given for folks who just want to try to do it for the weekend. What are some essentials to make those weekends go right? Because if you have a bad experience camping, you're not going to want to do it again.
Yeah.
Whether you're doing it as a couple, whether you got a little baby like with little Miles, or whether you got the family, the whole group. So would you guys mind kind of walking me through some stuff that are essentials for those weekend getaways?
yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
So I mean, I think the first thing is what we're doing right now.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you gotta
Here
have some really quality camping chairs, you know.
Yeah.
And there's so many different styles. You know, these ones are great. They
The
kick
gravity
back.
rockers, yeah,
These
man.
are amazing. You'll fall asleep. You'll listening to the birds. But there's all different kinds. But that's probably the number one first thing that you want to make sure that you have, just because you're going to be spending time outdoors. You got to have somewhere to relax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these are great because you can easily fold them up, store them
Yeah.
away in the storage compartments.
Yeah, it's nice to extend your living area to the outdoors. The goal of camping is to be outside as much as possible. So make an outdoor area super
Yeah.
comfortable. Like, I love having the rug. It kind of keeps some of
Oh.
the dirt from going inside.
Yeah. And you guys got the one with a little LED light strip on it too.
Yes.
So you get that ambiance at night.
It's super fun
this is
and
super
makes
cool.
it cozy.
And to her point, it kind of creates this almost like a room out here, which
Yeah.
really helps you enjoy this space more.
Yeah.
This is
Of course, what's camping without a campfire?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't go camping without s'mores. And again, like you said, sets the ambiance,
does.
keeps you warm in the chilly Colorado mountains.
And this is a personal preference. A lot of people on the weekend are going to want that campfire experience, you know, but a lot of folks that are maybe doing it more frequently, the propane fire pit is an excellent option. We have this little red
The
campfire.
little red campfire.
yeah,
Yep.
Oh my gosh, it is a game changer. We get to go to bed. We're not smelling like smoke. We
Yep.
still get the s'mores. We still get the heat.
Yes.
It's great. So
That's why I love those, because they're smokeless and you don't get the smell.
Yes.
Yeah, but
we
you
could
can
see
cook
smell.
the s'mores when you're done. Just boop, 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 pop the
Yep.
propane tank
love
Turn
on.
it
that.
off.
So
Yeah, I see too. You got a couple of tables here, the different sizes and more than one. I think that's pretty essential too, because you're always
sure.
looking to
yep.
Set your drink.
set something down.
We always have like music playing.
Yeah.
We
something
also
that-
always needed an extra table for cooking prep
Yeah.
next to the grill.
Right.
What else?
Speaking
Got to
of,
have a cooler too. So
Yeah.
even though you have a refrigerator inside, you know, you're going to have, especially if you're doing it on the weekend, you're going to have extra drinks. You know, if you have kids, you're going to have sodas and juice box. You know, if maybe you have a couple beers in there, you never know. You're probably going to need a little bit extra space than what you have in your RV fridge, depending on the model. Good cooler with a lot of storage for ice and drinks.
And
Essential.
take it down to the lake.
yeah. It's easy, portable, stowable,
Yeah.
lightweight. Yeah, having a good cooler is essential, whether you're doing RVing or marine.
Yeah,
Plain and simple. You're going out
absolutely.
for the weekend, you need one of those.
Yeah.
And
And
I
then there's
noticed-
something over here that I
Yeah, you
definitely
notice
want to
I'm
show you.
looking at that
I'm
right
gonna
here.
get up
Hang
and
on, I
show
wanna
this
see
to you
this, man.
because this is a new addition for us, and
Yeah.
it's changed things. I just absolutely love these. The Blackstone griddles. You can cook anything that you want to cook on here, but it's
Right.
just it's a skillet. It's easy to clean. My old grill, you know, it was like a Coleman camp
Oh, those
stove,
little- little
and it was
tailgaters.
great, but it got so dirty, especially when I was cooking burgers. You know, got all this grease and stuff.
Yeah.
This is awesome. It has a grease trap back here. All that grease will just run right off. You just wipe it down when you're done.
Yeah.
Breakfast is amazing. Burgers, hot
Lunch,
dogs.
yep.
Oh, this is awesome.
This
Love
is
this
why
thing.
I love the flat tops, because it opens up doing more.
Yeah.
You don't just have a couple of burners. Now most RVs will have like an outside kitchen, especially if you get a bigger one or you get a family
Yeah.
model. You'll have like the outside kitchen. Some of them will have the burners in them.
Yeah.
Most of them will have the little LP quick connect on them. So if you do have a portable grill or a portable Blackstone, you can just plug right into your LP line. But these, you got the little portable Coleman tanks.
They're awesome, and we have also used the tailgater combo version
Mm-hmm.
of this, where you've got the griddle on one side and a burner on the other side. So
Yes.
that is really a good. Then you can do everything that you need.
My wife actually made me put that at home beside the regular grill.
Yeah, it
'cause-
makes sense.
Yeah, it does
Yeah,
make sense, because I mean we use it. That's the other great thing about these. You don't have to take your big giant grill anywhere. You got stuff
Yeah.
that you can take with you that folds down.
Yeah,
You see
all
how the
these
legs
legs
do right
retract.
there.
This is great, yeah.
Easy to store away, lightweight,
Yeah.
but allows you to master chef. By the way,
Yeah.
breakfast tacos.
Hey,
You guys crush some breakfast tacos.
I thought they were really good, so
Man,
I'm glad
those-
you say
yeah,
that.
Yeah,
so.
those, let me tell you what, and you did that all right there on the
Yeah,
Blackstone. I love it. Now, you guys
let's
are
talk
also
about
really
the
active.
fun stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Enough of the manly
Yeah,
grill
yeah.
talk.
Yeah, sorry, Lindsay. You know we'll go on forever about the grills and cooking. But yeah, tell me about these, because weekend getaways, riding around, biking and hiking, right?
Yeah, well, of course you want to enjoy not just sitting at the campfire, but you want to get out, and wherever you are, we happen to be at a lake, so you might have a tube or an inflatable stand-up paddleboard that we love, or kayaks. And then, of course, every campground you want to get around. And
Yes.
so the bikes are super convenient, especially if you don't want to tow a car to get around the campground and even around town. So
Oh,
Yeah,
you
I
know
think
what?
that's a great point too
That
with
is a
the
great
e-bikes, because you can go longer range easier rather than maybe towing a car all the time. We
Yeah.
always have our car with us, but every once in a while we don't tow it, and having something where you can still get out, run a quick errand if you need to.
Especially for the weekend.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
So-
that's actually a great idea, because, you do have those campgrounds. Some of them are small, some of them are big.
Yeah.
Plus, you might just go boondocking, maybe go on some BLM land, and you're going to need something to get back
Yep.
to where you're going to go.
For
So
sure.
that's actually a great option, because they're lightweight. A lot of them will get up to 20 miles an hour anyway,
Yeah.
and will go for 25, 50 miles.
they're awesome.
Yeah, that's a great feature. I also see you got the solar-powered lights, the solar-powered AM/FM radio, because you never know, you might not have juice at the campground.
Exactly.
But you still
And-
need your tunage.
It's perfect for a quick weekend trip, extra lights outside. When we're boondocking, it can get really dark. We have dogs, so
Yeah.
anytime we can have lights on the rug, the awning, we're always lit up. So
Yeah, I like
safety.
these, because these are great, because also weather reports and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
But with
is
the hand
super.
crank, fill up the charge, and then you can just plug your cell phone.
Yeah, those weather
Yeah.
radios are actually
Yep.
really essential, because sometimes you're in a county or a place that you don't actually know where you're at.
Yeah.
And these things can pick up the signal, and tell you what the weather report is,
Yeah.
because sometimes it gets nasty out there and you got to be aware. So,
That's a great point. If you do pick up something like that, look for something that has SAME technology, SAME. That just means it's going to pick up the weather reports in that area. So yeah, that's actually a good point, especially if you're going out of state for the weekend.
it's huge. So
Yeah.
it's a big deal. I know there's been many a times that we haven't had one of those, and we're trying to figure out where are we exactly, and we're
Yeah.
looking at the storms above. Is it going to be a tornado? I don't know.
Yeah,
So,
we can't predict. I mean,
but that never happens when you're camping. So
No,
don't worry about
never
that.
does. And I like how you have the solar panel set up over there too, just in case you don't have power. You need to
Yeah.
trickle charge the battery, charge your cell
Yeah.
phone.
Exactly.
Those are great because they just collapse, put them under the the pass-through storage.
Oh
just
yeah,
boom.
the suitcases are great.
It's great.
And I see you got your man. You guys got everything. You got the
do.
sleeping bags.
Yeah.
With the suspension cover.
You never know. Sometimes we have friends and family join us, and so we always have just extra bedding, and these are nice to just be compact.
Yep.
I
Dude,
mean,
this is a great camp setup, and
Yeah.
I really like your Ace too.
We're really happy with the Ace.
we love it.
Yeah.
Have you been inside?
I have
these?
not been inside this
Come
one
on
Yeah,
in.
you
Let's
gotta
show
check- you guys mind?
Yeah, you got to check
I mean,
this
You're
I
gonna love
kind of just kind of bombarded you with the.
No, we love it.
Let me come on in. What you got in the fridge too, by the way?
Hey, come on. After this,
That's off limits.
Oh man, okay, well maybe afterwards, maybe. Yeah, maybe we can sneak something in. Wow.
We are. Look at the space in this. It
This
looks
is
nice
beautiful,
and short
yeah.
from the outside, right? But it's super spacious. That's why
Right.
we love
Yeah,
it.
this is the 2022, and I think this is what the
29.5.
The 29.5.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
wow.
we love this because it's not incredibly long,
Right.
but it is wide and it is
the
just
light interior.
Oh, it's great.
just it's super airy, and we just are obsessed with this
Well,
one.
one of the things that I like about motorhomes, A's, C's, B's, whatever, is if you are going for that weekend trip, you do not have a tow vehicle. This is your best way to get out and see America the safest way possible. You
Yeah.
can just get up. You're going in your own home.
Yes.
You don't have to worry
Exactly.
about setting up a reservation at a hotel. Who's been in there before me, or traveling on a plane?
Yeah. Yep.
Who's going to be sitting next to me?
Exactly. So we always have it stocked for that
Yeah.
reason. We
Yeah.
like to just hop in and go and not make it a super stressful trip.
Okay.
The weekend's about relaxing. So the easier you can make it, the better. Just have all your paper or your plastic kitchenware,
Yeah.
your pots and pans, everything, linens.
Okay,
towels
so it's important to
stocked.
just get it stocked.
You got to have it
Yes.
stocked just like you would, your house and some
Yeah.
of these items, pots, pans, like she said. You want extra sheets, all that stuff, just in case. Sometimes things happen, they get dirty. You want to make sure you have extras, towels, all that.
Blankets, yeah.
Yep. So, a couple things I really like about this one for weekend camping, because sometimes, like we were talking about outside, maybe the weather turns. It's raining for a little bit during the
Yeah.
summer, or after you've had a really long day out, you got your family in here, you just want to relax, and this
Yeah.
space is perfect. You've got these
Mm-hmm.
recliners here, movie theater style. You can turn these chairs around, and you got this nice TV in an actual usable spot, which is another thing.
Right, yeah.
Make sure your TV's in a good spot, because sometimes they're not.
That goes right back to when you get an RV, make sure something you're going to enjoy, because
Yeah.
if you don't enjoy it, you're not going to want to do it.
And this
Yeah.
is perfect. You're just hanging out with your family, watching a movie or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a
Make-
seat. Yeah, oh yeah.
Make it nice and homey.
Pillows, I think, are a big one.
blankets.
Yeah.
Hang stuff on the wall. Just make it really like a little home on wheels that you take on the weekends. It's like an apartment to go.
So you guys went through some great stuff, and thank you, by the way, for that. Are there any other tips for just enjoying the weekend that you guys might have for people who are thinking about doing it for the first time?
I would say do a little bit of planning, especially during the summer, which is maybe where you're thinking about doing your most camping. Get a reservation. Make sure that you're not stressed about where you're going to go, or if you are going to go out and boondock, just make sure you've done a little bit of prep, read, you know the GPS coordinates that you want to do. Just be prepared.
But be flexible because it's an adventure. It really is, and nothing ever goes the way you think it's going to go. But like I said, it's part of the adventure.
Yeah, and to that point, I think ultimately, just keeping in mind that you might have this idea of what camping is, especially if it's one of your first times, and it might not turn out exactly that way when you get out here. But the thing is just to enjoy being with the people you're with, enjoy being outside. This motorhome is just an opportunity to get to a different place, to be outdoors and create memories. That's what these vehicles do, and they're the best for that. So
Yeah.
just have fun.
Relax. Yeah. And here we are talking about all the stuff that you need to bring, but also keep it simple and, don't over stress yourself out. Don't have this long to-do list or else it's not going to be enjoyable. So.
Wow. That's absolutely beautiful. I don't think nothing needs to be added there. So with that said, I'd say thank you guys for letting me come in and kind of crash the campsite for a little bit. I know it's only for the weekend, so I appreciate the time. It was good seeing you.
You're welcome. Anytime, Chris.
Are the keys to those e-bikes still in the e-bike?
Hey, security!
Chris!
That Chris. Man, he's a funny guy. So, a little bit about some of the must-haves for weekend camping. I noticed a couple things there, one of them being the grill. Keith, my man, if I know one thing about you, it's that's a man who knows how to grill.
Absolutely. Don't leave home without your grill because you can cook whatever you cook at home. You can cook at the campsite. You just need the tools and get them all at Camping World.
I love it. And another thing I picked up on too, and I know you guys said this before, Lindsay was talking about having, different pots and pans, different sheets, right? Different linens that you don't have to pack and unpack every time. Just get something for the camper, leave it in there. And I'm pretty sure you guys said you do that too, right?
Absolutely. And my favorite pots are the ones that nest inside of one another.
Nesting pots. All right.
Yes.
Nesting everything, whether it be bowls,
Everything.
you name it.
Nesting
Storage.
and collapsible. Those are the key words.
Okay.
Key terms.
All right. Well, I know what I'm getting. I'm going to buy a little Russian doll. that counts, right? All right, guys. Well, coming up next, it is my man, Chris. He's going to be talking to two traveling dogs about traveling with pets. Yeah, little furry loved ones, right?
He knows best.
That's right. Yeah, different things you can bring, all the essentials. Chris, my man, take it away.
It's so nice to be out here in the campground, just experiencing nature. And a lot of people are discovering how great it can be to RV with their pets for the first time, more than ever before. And when you get a chance to walk through the campground, you get a chance to run into some friends like I am right now. My friends Rachel and Nate, two traveling dogs. Hey guys, what's happening?
Well, I don't know.
Do you mind if I come on in and have a seat?
I actually mind.
Okay, all right. I mean,
You should have knocked.
I see you got the whale on.
Do you think this shirt makes my whale tail look big?
Just a little bit.
No,
you might want to cut back on the carbs.
Hey, bruh, I know that this is the ultimate
Land, water, and RV show.
That's right. And
so
I know
you got it all right here.
You're going to be dragging an RV out in the lake at some point.
How did you look? That's a secret we can't let anybody know about yet.
What?
Oh.
Yeah, that I'm going to be dragging an RV behind one of those Apollo boats.
Well, you're making fun of me now, but everybody's going to be wanting to jump on the Jolly Whale when that thing starts singing.
So speaking of jumping on,
yes,
there are a lot of people that are just now discovering how great it can be to RV full time, or even just RV generally with their pets.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys are better than anybody to talk to about maybe what do we need to make sure the pets enjoy the campsite and you enjoy the campsite as well. So I love all the stuff you got set up here. So if you don't mind, kind of tell me what and why.
Yeah. Well, he said something to me yesterday that kind of was like, whoa. He said, there's nothing that we should feel bad about giving to our dogs.
Right.
And as long as they're comfortable and they're happy, we're happy.
Yeah.
But we have to be happy too. So
Yes.
we've got these awesome, comfy camping chairs.
The Paddy Club chairs,
Yep.
yes.
Everybody, you've got to have comfy chairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for the dogs, we got the cooling mats, man.
Let me tell you, this
Yeah.
is
Great
really
for
cool.
summer.
Yeah, the dogs lay on them. I lay on them when I've gotten in trouble. And, they're awesome because, when it's hot out, the dog wants to be outside.
Mm-hmm.
But, you have to give him some comfort too, make sure he's okay in the humidity as well. And that cools down and they love it.
Right. You can just put that in the fridge or the freezer, right?
Yeah.
I noticed you got multiple sizes too. I like how you can add to it.
Right.
I also like how you got the big mat here. I think that's kind of essential too.
That is essential for Brickle. As soon as we get into a campsite, when we put the rug down, he's like, okay, we're home.
Right. And he's
And then he goes to the dirt.
Right.
Right.
I was
Yeah,
that's
they
it.
lay
Yeah, I
in
was
the
saying
dirt.
he lays down in the dirt while Digby's going to go join him. I say that's beautiful.
This rug really worked out. Yeah, I'm glad I packed it.
Right. Well, and a lot of people may or may not know that, Camping World, Gander RV and Outdoors are pet friendly. So as long as your pets are on the leash, you can come in. We have huge pet sections. They can just come. The dogs can pick out their favorite toys or two toys, whatever,
Exactly.
and come have fun with it.
Yeah,
So-
you don't have to worry about rushing home.
Yeah.
Yeah. You interrupted me. Whoa.
Yeah.
Now
Hey,
Digby's
buddy.
interrupted me.
Yeah.
Everybody's interrupted me. No, I mean, Camping World is great for bringing your pet. I mean, Brickle loves to go in there. Digby, he's not a store guy, He wants to shop online.
Right.
But, Brickle likes to go in there. So we really appreciate the fact that we can bring him into the store.
And I see you also got the grill set up. I guess that's so you can just enjoy cooking while you're out here with the dogs.
Yeah,
maybe toss them a burger every now and then.
We
every
cook
meal.
for them.
Yeah.
We cook for them. We actually give them cooked food and fresh food as well. So this is awesome for cooking, their meats and things like that.
And our vegetables.
And our vegetables.
Yes, yeah. By the way, the vegan food, love it. I love how you guys incorporate that into everything.
Yeah. We were so happy to be able to compete in that last cooking competition.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing us in fourth. We appreciate it.
Hey, you're just 3 places out of first. That's all that means. There you go.
That's right.
Yeah, tell me. Yeah, tell them, Digby. Tell them.
Testify.
I see you got the dog bowls out here.
Yes.
Traveling with those, I think, are essential as well.
Yeah. I like the collapsible ones because you can pull them out at the rest stops.
Right.
If you have to stop, you can pull them out as soon as we get to the campsite.
Right.
We take cold water.
Cooler's essential.
Yeah, cooling drinks for us. And then the times that, we have to run errands, the pet temperature monitor is super fabulous.
Tell me about this little bad boy.
Yeah, I don't even think I think that's a necessity.
Okay.
Because, there are times when we have to leave them, in the RV, and we have to know if the power goes out at the campgrounds or if we're boondocking and we have to, our generator's running. What if the air stops? So it alerts you right away.
Wow.
You don't need Wi-Fi, so that's great too.
Yeah,
when you're
absolutely. Yeah, I see
boondocking,
that. It gives you temperature monitor and GPS.
Yeah,
That's a very nice
so
touch.
that's really good. And the steps, the pet steps, getting them in and out of the truck and the RV, we love those.
Yeah, because a lot of RVs, they will have solid steps, which if you have pets, that's always what I recommend, because a lot of times the top step's a little bit bigger.
Yes.
It does help. Or get the assisted steps. Yeah, those are absolutely essential.
Or ramp.
I see you got the lantern, you got the cookware, you got the shower nozzle.
Well, I like to do a little outside shower. You know what I'm saying? We hook that up to the outside shower.
That's why we never had any neighbors.
That's true. That's why we do a lot of boondocking.
Yes.
That's why I wear this too. I don't want a shower accident.
Oh, look. Well, plus, you might get the water too high, and we don't want you getting lost in the waves. Don't drown in your own wake, Nate.
It ain't the Jolly Whale for nothing, baby.
Yeah.
We like to keep the dirt outside, and the RV clean inside.
Right.
So we always hose them off at least before they come in. It doesn't have to be cold water, it can be warm. So
Yeah,
I get hosed off too.
Yeah.
We'll hose you off a little bit later.
I was gonna say you might have to. Yeah, tell them, Digby.
Speak.
So, and you got the Robert Irvine cook site too. I guess it's just because you guys are always making such great meals and cooking such great stuff at the campsite, inside the RV, inside home.
Right.
These are just so universal. You just take them with you everywhere.
yeah, and they're great for storing when you're moving.
Handle comes off.
Right.
Yeah. That's what I like.
That's right.
Yeah, baby.
They look good,
Yeah.
just like
yeah.
Robert Irvine.
What?
You saying
I
that Nate and I don't look good? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, why you gotta bring that up? Just because he's big, handsome, and rich and famous. And,
Yeah.
Okay,
And I'm
never
small,
mind.
little,
Yeah,
and no
I'm
money.
sold on
I got
that
you.
one too. Yeah, I'm sold on that one too.
Yeah.
But I think more than anything, it's probably about comfort.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
it is.
is.
Convenience.
And safety too in the
Yeah.
summertime.
Yeah.
Making
Yeah.
sure you have everything that your dogs are not only comfortable but safe. because
We can
have to
get
watch
through
out.
a lot. We don't want our dogs having to go through anything. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
We want them to have a good time.
What about some tips for outside?
For outside, make sure you always have your dog on a leash at the campsite. Not all dogs like other dogs, so you don't want them running out, and making trouble.
Right.
Yeah. And just being mindful of their barking. All dogs are going to bark,
Yeah.
but just trying
Which
to
is
be
fine.
respectful.
Yeah.
And, I can't stop Digby when it's dinner time from barking. That's just the way it is.
Right.
But, we try to be respectful of the neighbors and obviously picking up after your dog, which,
Please.
is key.
Yeah, it is kind of
Yeah,
key.
it's key.
Yeah.
Now, what about maybe some tips for inside the RV, especially for somebody who's never had one? Do you mind if we kind of go in and take a look at the setup in there?
Yeah, let's
Sounds
do
good.
it.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
One of the things I think is so important about RVing with pets is choosing the right RV, having the right things for it.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys picked a great one. The Outbacks, as I like to call them, the chalets. They feature so many great things like the hyper deck flooring, the carpetless slide. The bedroom usually has a pet kennel in it under the master bed. Yeah, which is great, especially if you got the smaller pets or something for safety and security.
Right.
Plus, easy to clean.
Yeah.
And do you guys usually prefer like leather sofas and dinites, or do you like cloth?
We always go with the leatherette. because much easier to clean. But here's the key. It's like, even with that, we'll put covers over it.
Okay,
you know?
smart.
Because,
Yeah.
I mean, Brickell and Digby,
Oh,
they got some claws, baby.
Yeah,
They go to the salon every once in a while and get those painted up.
Yeah, you got to get your grips and trips done up.
I know it.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's just like, it's so much easier to just do some laundry there with the covers, and it keeps your unit real nice.
Now, Rachel, what about the floors? Because I know you had mentioned
Yeah.
something about the linoleum floors.
Yeah, as Brickell and Digby have gotten older, they do not like flooring at all. So we
Right.
put runners everywhere that they're going to go.
Okay.
We also put like blankets or towels. That way we can just like shake out all the dirt if anything
Sure.
gets in, and then
Smart.
we can wash it. It just makes them more comfortable. And when you're camping, you're fighting with fleas and ticks and bugs all the time. The less carpet that you have, the better. The easier it is to keep that stuff out.
So if you do get it, just get some small enough so that the dogs can move around.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, what about the steps, though?
Yeah, the steps are key, and especially as they've gotten older. For smaller dogs getting in and out of the RV, you can do the pet steps, or you can put. They sell runners at Camping World, so you can put them on the metal
Little
steps.
cloth covers,
Yeah, because sometimes dogs don't like it because they can't grip their claws into the metal steps.
Yeah.
So it just helps them. It's safety too.
The carpeting, yeah.
Hey. You believe in aliens from another planet?
I do.
Okay.
Okay.
Just making conversation. Go ahead.
Okay. And the thing I like too about those is that's why I love Nate. What is it? Is it because I don't have a standard forehead? I got the 789 head, and you think I might be from Mars?
I was
Is
just
that what
saying,
it is?
I mean, this is a nice RV for, life from other planets as well.
It is. Oh,
You fit a lot of them up in here.
Yeah, these are great RVs for just general life. Anyway, these are like premier luxury travel trailers.
Yeah.
And for those families that need to get out, they want to take the pets along, I always suggest, look, even if it's your first one, if you really want to experience true camp comfort, get something like the Outbacks because of, it's beautiful. It's
nice.
easy to clean. They have amenities in it that you're not going to find. Usually bigger air conditioners, usually bigger heaters, more insulation, this, that, and the
It's
other thing.
important to the aliens because they're only about that big.
Some
they
of
look
them-
like sticks of butter.
Some of them, my kind, are about 6'2".
Are they sticks of butter? Don't eat an alien that's a stick of butter because they'll raise your cholesterol.
Who do I look
That's
like?
how they're taking over.
Do I look like Paula Dean? And I bring my stick of butter. Speaking of the looking like a stick of butter, I see how you guys got the comfy padded sleeper down here. How's that work?
You gotta have dog beds, and if you have the nice dog beds, they're not gonna want to get on the furniture, but we all know they're going to.
Yes,
anyway.
absolutely.
And that's okay.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's okay. But the great thing about Camping World is you can bring your dogs with you to look at the RVs and see how they like them.
Yeah.
You can just bring them inside.
This is true. Yeah, this is very true.
Let them pick out.
Yeah, Brickell loves going on tours of the RVs. You know, Ian drags him around.
Yes, yeah.
You know, we asked him if he wanted Chris to walk him around.
No, he said, I was like, no.
I need an expert.
I love it. Now, speaking of experts,
yes.
Do you guys have any more expert advice for people who are discovering RVing with pets, or anything for them to think about before they get their first RV?
Just do it.
Just do it.
Just try it. Don't overthink it. Be prepared.
Right.
We want our dogs to be safe and, the essentials, water, everything else. But, just try it out. They might not like it the first time, and just accept that. But the second time, they might love it.
Right.
So if they don't like it the first time, try it again. Keep trying. Find out what they like.
Find out what they like. Think about them as an individual.
Yes.
People always are like, you think of your dog as an individual? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
they're
do.
part of the family.
They're part of the family, and they have their likes and their dislikes. Think about it, and they'll enjoy it, which will make you enjoy it a lot more.
Yeah. If they're having fun, we're having a whole lot more fun. Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely. Land, Water, and RV show. I want to thank our friends, Two Traveling Dogs, for making me look like a fool, because I do a pretty good job of that myself. But I am glad to be back here on the beach, joined by my friends Bryce and Nelly, the Jergies. Guys, welcome back. You excited for today's competition?
Oh, yeah.
We're mentally
we're
getting
one
ready.
down.
Yeah.
We got some more to go.
Oh, let me tell you, the Ultimate Outdoor
winning.
Olympics. Yeah, I know you guys. I can feel the excitement. I can feel it.
I am consciously focusing on what I'm eating too, so I feel at my peak. This is real here.
Staying out of the sun so we don't get too tired. Yeah, we got strategy, man.
That's beautiful. Speaking of strategies, a lot of people are experiencing RVs for the first time.
That's
and
true.
you guys have a fifth wheel, right?
Yep, we do.
You got to love it.
We do. We had a Class A before, drivable, and we love having a fifth wheel for lots of reasons.
Plus, Nelly drives it.
She does. She drives this
why
all the
he
time.
likes it.
Right. Well, we got the absolute best person on the planet to explain not only the history of fifth wheels, but why a fifth wheel. And my buddy Ian Baker is going to take it away with that introduction right now.
Big, beautiful, yet surprisingly easy to tow. This is Intro to Fifth Wheels. So when it comes to towable RVs, we're gonna have two main types. You'll have travel trailers, which my good friend Chris Young showed you yesterday, and we'll have fifth wheels. So what is a fifth wheel? What makes it a little bit different? And why in the world is it called a fifth wheel when you have four wheels? Well, it comes down to the hitch system, right? So years ago when you had carriages, the way this connected, you had basically a wheel-like assembly on top of the carriage. And so because the way it turned, it looked like a wheel, they called it the fifth wheel. No, it's not your friend that just won't go away. It's that connection right there. The great thing about the fifth wheel is towability. It's one of the reasons people absolutely love it. When this connects, rather than having like on our travel trailers, right, where you have the A-frame that comes out and hooks to that ball, the majority of the weight from the fifth wheel on your tow vehicle lands right above the axles. And so with that connection system and being on that axle rather than behind it, it pulls as one big unit. So even though this is huge, right, compared to our travel trailer, you don't get near the sway, which is, again, the big reason people absolutely love these. And also, they tend to be a little bit bigger. If you're looking for something with more space, you want more headroom, maybe a little bit higher end amenities, a fifth wheel is going to generally be kind of a step above travel trailers. Now, that's not always the case, right? There's some luxury travel trailers out there that are gorgeous and are certainly going to be nicer than your entry-level fifth wheels. But as a whole, again, these will start to have some nicer amenities. And we'll touch on those in just a second. I just kind of want to go through and show you some of the differences when we start to look at different fifth wheels, right? What are some of the things that manufacturers may change? And it's going to start right here, because again, we talk about towability. So this is what they call a kingpin. And the way this essentially connects, as I talked about, you will have that hitch in your truck. Now, I say truck because with a fifth wheel, folks, despite some of the crazy videos you may have seen on YouTube where it attaches to the top of a Volkswagen Bug, don't recommend trying that. The only thing you're going to be able to tow this with is a truck. You're not going to be able to do it with an SUV because of this connection. But with that hitch in the back of your truck, there's jaws that clamp around this. Depending on your truck, you can have a slider hitch if you have a short bed truck, so it gives you a little bit of extra room to turn. And again, we can get into hitching for quite a while. It's not what I want to do here. If you have questions, please reach out to us at Camping World. We'll be happy to walk you through hitching and make sure we get the right hitch set up for both your fifth wheel as well as for your truck. But the pin box itself, which is the rest of this, can have some mechanisms that change the way it tows. Whether it's the Rhino box like we have right here, which is a little bit shorter and it actually allows for a little bit better turn radius, or if it is the Road Armor, where it has a pivoting head that helps a little bit with what they call bucking and chucking, which is when you start and stop your tow vehicle, it pulls a little bit, right? You can get some improvements there. And so some manufacturers will do different things to help improve that towability. Now, as a whole, with fifth wheels, right? As I said, with towable RVs, you have travel trailers, you have fifth wheels. And with fifth wheels, you'll have two different types there as well. You'll have what they call mid-profile and full profile. And your big difference will be right up at the top, right? Right up at the roof line. And when we go inside, you'll see that is the bedroom. So one of the quickest and easiest ways to tell is if you go up to the very front of the RV, if you have to duck your head down, chances are you're in a mid-profile. If you can stand all the way up, it's going to be a full profile. Advantages: mid-pro is going to be lighter weight, so therefore it'll be easier to tow. If you're looking to do half-ton towing, if you have a half-ton truck, is going to be a mid-profile. And I'll get into that in a little bit. We do have one here, and I'll kind of show you again some of the differences in those half-ton units. Full profile are going to be bigger. They'll give you more head space, but they're also going to be heavier. Another big one is going to be your leveling system. You'll have two different leveling systems here. One of them is going to be what we have, which on this particular unit, which is auto level. I personally highly recommend auto level, folks. Anything you can do to make your camp experience easier to set up and tear down is a big win in my book, and that right there is one of them. There's a control right over here. Come on in here a second, let's show them. So, and you'll have some different controls based upon the system, but this is one of them right there. And you can see there's a button that says auto level. You literally push a button and this does the rest. It levels itself out. Now, with that, there are some slight concerns you want to make sure of, because the leveling system doesn't know if you're on a paved parking spot, right? Or if you're on a big angle. Either way, it's going to level it out. And to do that, these jacks are strong enough a lot of times to lift the wheels off the ground. So there is some manual options there to make sure you can lower it back down. But even with that, it is still much simpler than having what they call the landing gear, which is this right here with just a power switch, and then basically having stabilizer jacks in the back. So I do recommend an auto level system, but again, it's not going to make or break it. It just makes camping a little bit easier. Speaking of ease, awning, pretty much every fifth wheel you're going to see will have a power awning of some sort. Where the big difference comes in is going to be size, right? You may have a smaller awning, you may have a bigger awning. If you have a huge RV, right, a huge fifth wheel, you may have two awnings on there, right, and have this whole side covered. And why is awning important? Well, that's going to be your main camping space. So if you have a short little awning, right, and it's a hot day like it is today, you're just going to be getting beat down with the sun. Whereas if you have a nice big awning, you have all that great camping space, you're able to sit out underneath it. So it's one of the things that you will want to pay attention to. Another big one will be your outside storage, folks. You can see right here, a lot of times with fifth wheels, they'll call this the garage. Now, this one isn't necessarily big, right? It's a good size. You can still fit some stuff in there, but kind of like we saw with the travel trailers that Chris showed us, right? It's a pretty similar size to what we have there. So not big, not small, it'll do the trick. But there are some fifth wheels that utilize what they call a drop frame. And what that is your main I-beam, right? This one has an I-beam that runs all the way across. What they'll do in a drop frame is they'll stop it right about here and actually weld a secondary smaller I-beam underneath. And that gives you all this extra storage space in here without sacrificing the strength and integrity of the RV, but it costs more money. Right? So it's one of those things. You have to make sure you're getting what you want for price point. Do you want a lot of storage? Absolutely. There are fifth wheels out there that have it, but just know it's going to be a little bit higher price point than if you do not have a drop frame like this one here. Steps, you can get a couple different style of steps, whether it's going to be a standard fold out or something like this one where you have, you know, the solid steps. So this one is the step above system by MORryde. I personally prefer these just because they are very solid. I mean, I'm a 200-pound guy. You can see I can hop up and down on this thing and the steps hardly flex, right? So I personally like those. But again, that is going to be a personal preference on what you want and what the manufacturer you're looking at offers. For sidewall construction, I know Chris talked about some different sidewall constructions. Pretty much all fifth wheels made today are going to be fiberglass sides. They used to have aluminum fifth wheels. If you look, if you go back far enough, you're looking for something used, you probably will find them. But pretty much all mainstream fifth wheels made today will have fiberglass sidewalls. And then, depending on your floor plan, and when we go inside, we'll talk a little bit more about floor plan, but you get some different options outside here too, based upon what you have. And this one is a bunk room. Quick side note, just so you know, if you see a small window up top like that, right in the back, chances are that's a bunkhouse. So if you're out looking at RVs and you're walking a lot and you want to find some for your family, that is right there is almost a dead giveaway. But with a bunk unit, a lot of times you get an outside kitchen. A lot of people like that because it gives you the ability to be able to cook bacon or anything else outside. You can enjoy nature. You know, your RV doesn't smell like bacon grease after 6 hours of cooking it. But, so the outside kitchen is great for that. Plus, for me personally, I'm a really big fan of the fridge and especially the ice maker. Now, I'm a guy who likes to enjoy camping. I like to relax. And these two things right here help me a little bit with that. Help me with my little drinks. Making our way to the back here, you also have good storage space. And again, that is part of that bunk house. We'll see that when we go in there. This is underneath one of those bunk beds. So some manufacturers will put an outside kitchen here. I personally like the fact that on this unit, on the Arctic Wolf, they have the kitchen right up there and instead give you this extra storage space, especially because as we saw, we didn't have a monstrous one up front in that garage. And then coming around to the back, folks, this is the last thing I want to hit on before we do head inside. You will see your bumper, and mounted on this bumper is this cargo rack. Now, a couple of things I want to talk about, and the reason I like this is because a lot of people don't realize this, but if you mount things on a bumper of an RV, almost always that will void the warranty for the RV, because that bumper, that frame, is not built to withstand the torque, that load that it will basically have to suffer when you're going down the road, right? Because if you put 300 pounds on that bumper and it's not built to take it, every bump you hit is just pulling on that bumper, it's pulling on that frame, and it can cause damage. When they have a system like this, the frame is reinforced and built for it. So that way your warranty will stay intact. So I personally like when they put these on here, but again, it is personal choice on what you're looking for. This one in particular is 300-pound capacity, drop it down. Great for coolers, wood, bigger totes, whatever else you want to put on there. Another thing is a rear-mounted ladder, and most fifth wheels will have some kind of rear-mounted ladder as well, so you can get up on the roof. Your roof will be a couple different materials. It could be TPO, it could be PVC, it could be EPDM, it could be a blend. This is not the video where I'm going to go into some of all the differences in roof material, but pretty much anything in the industry will last for at least 12 years, right? You're gonna have a 12-year warranty on there, which is phenomenal. They only go up from there based upon the manufacturer. But that is if you take care of it, right? There is some maintenance. You wanna make sure you get up there. If you're parked under beautiful trees like this, I mean, if you see, take a look at that a second. This is gorgeous, absolutely beautiful, folks. This is why we go camping, is for sites like this. But when you are out in nature, right, there are some things that happen, whether it is, a little bit of bird poop up on the roof, it's sap from under a pine tree, things like that. You want to make sure you get up on your roof and clean it off, and that ladder right there will allow you to do so. You'll also see right up top, this one has a backup camera. I do recommend them for larger fifth wheels. This one is a pretty good size. That way it helps you see what is behind you. And that's really cool, because not only does that work when you are backing into your campsite to make sure you're not going to hit anything, but it also functions while you're traveling down the road. It kind of acts like a rear view mirror in a sense, right? So that way you can see what is behind you, especially, if you have someone that's getting close, just make sure that you have enough time to stop or whatever else you need. But I personally like a backup camera, but again, it will be personal preference. Now, that's just a few of the things on the outside. Let's take a look at some of the differences on the inside of a fifth wheel. And there are many, folks. It is not one of those things where we just have a couple differences. One of the biggest ones is going to be floor plan, right? Okay, Ian, what are we talking when we talk floor plan? Because it's a term that's commonly used in the RV industry. And the floor plan is kind of like what it sounds like. It is the way the RV is laid out. What I like to tell people is you essentially have a few different sections of the RV. You're going to have the front, the middle, and the back, right? And that's going to be true for both towables, for travel trailers as well as fifth wheels. And in those three sections, basically that's what determines what the RV floor plan is, right? Most fifth wheels, not all, but most fifth wheels will have your bedroom in the front, okay? And this one is no exception. We'll see that when we go up there. But you can get a living room up there. You can get a kitchen up there, even a bunk room, right? There are some other rare floor plans where you can do some stuff up there, get like a big master suite, things like that. But more often than not, in the front of a fifth wheel will be your bedroom. Now in the middle, again, most times will be your living area. So you will have your seating as well as your kitchen. And then depending on your layout, the back also might be living area. Or in this situation, it'll be a bunk room, which we'll see in just a second. Now, something else you kind of want to look for, talk about layout, something that's a little bit more popular, especially in fifth wheels. We're starting to see it in some travel trailers now, but that is having your TV directly across from some kind of seating, right? The reason being is it's comfortable. Nobody wants to sit here and watch TV like this, right? Or like this. After a while, your neck gets sore. You don't want to be staring up here. You want it basically directly across from you. And that's what they did in this article. I think they did a great job. But that's one of the things, again, maybe that's important to you. That's one of those things I would certainly look for. Another big difference we're talking about fifth wheels is going to be the refrigerator type. You'll have essentially three different types of refrigerators. You will have one that runs off of both propane and electric, right, off 120. You will have one that will be electric only that runs off 12 volt. And you will have another, which is your residential style refrigerator, which runs off 120 only. And there is few exceptions to that rule, but that is mainly going to be the case. This particular one is a 12 volt fridge. These are increasing in popularity because they are larger than your gas electric. Your gas electric ones are generally 7 to 8 cubic feet. These ones run 10 most of the time. So you get a little more storage in there, plus it cools down a lot quicker than your old propane electric refrigerators. Now with layout, again, kitchen setup is going to be completely different. Some fifth wheels will have islands. If you want a kitchen island, I'll give you the quick pros and cons about that. The pros, of course, you get a lot more prep space. You're also going to get a lot of storage in that island. The con to having an island, in order to do it, you have to have a slide out on both sides. While a slide out on the off-camp side is fine, because there's generally nothing over there, when you put a slide out on the camp side, that tends to remove some of that usable camp space that we talked about when we were talking about the awning, right? Because that's going to be your main camp area. So bear that in mind. Is that a make it or break it? Probably not. A lot of people will find other places to camp on the site, whether it's behind or in front or whatever. But as you're shopping, if you want a kitchen island, just kind of, bear in mind the pros and the cons. And I always like to tell people there's nothing that's necessarily better than anything else. It's just a little bit different, right? If there was something that was better than everything else, if a 12 volt fridge was better than all the options and everything, including, price, size, how quick it cools down, how long it holds, all of it, then there wouldn't be anything else. There would only be that one option. So there are always pros and cons to everything that we look at. Same thing with ovens, folks. A lot of times, right, fifth wheels will have ovens, but that's not always the case. Sometimes you'll have an oven and a convection microwave oven. Sometimes not. This one has a microwave and this one has an oven here. And you also get a little bit of extra storage down below, which I like that too. And so that kind of sums up the kitchen, right? But my big thing is look for storage space. The fifth wheels tend to have a lot of storage space. A lot of it is high. We talk about, having that ceiling height. You can see right up here how much space I have, how much room I have. You don't feel closed in. Also slide height. Right? In fifth wheels, a lot of times it gives you bigger slides. I'm 6 foot tall and you can see how much space I have to the top of that slide. What does that mean? Well, it means when I get up out of my sofa, I'm not going to bang my head on the top of the slide. It also means I get bigger windows to enjoy the beautiful views outside, right? Those nice big windows there. Let in a ton of light. Let me see the sights I want to see. I mean, folks, how much would you love to be sitting here right now sipping on your coffee, or maybe, I guess a little bit later at night, you probably don't want coffee right now, maybe a cocktail, maybe just some water, whatever it may be, but enjoying that view right out there, right? That is, again, one of the big reasons I love camping. And those tall slides will get you those bigger windows. Now, let's come on back into the bunk room. So this one is built mainly for families, right? When you have bunks, the idea is you have kids and you don't want to constantly make up a bed. Now, both the dinette and that sofa will drop down into beds, but this is usually easier because you can make it and forget it. And, if you want it to look nice, you close the door, you just leave this area back here. And if you have people that come over, they don't have to see it, right? Whereas if a sofa, you got to break that down every day if you have guests. But these do have 300-pound weight capacity. So these are viable for adults as well, which is really nice. You can see electrical outlets and USB ports in here. That's always a big one for me, right? So that if it is a rainy day and the kids are in here, they can plug in those electronics and play. They kind of have their own space back here. That's the big thing about the bunk house, right? When you have the bunk room in the back. Now, there are different layouts here as well. You'll notice this one doesn't have any slides. You can have one slide, you can have two slides, right, that are across from each other to really open this space up. It just all depends on what you're looking for on that particular floor plan. Slides will definitely give you more room. It'll allow for more beds if you plan to sleep more people. But, every time you add a slide, also adds weight. I think this one is right around, I want to say a little over 8,000, maybe like 8,200 pounds dry, something like that, which honestly is pretty darn good. I don't know that I would quite call it a half ton. It's probably right there, probably pretty close to it. I have to look at the pin weight. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But again, great features like this. This is something you often don't get, is a pantry. More and more fifth wheels are starting to put them in, but you just don't get a ton of them. But I love having that nice big pantry right there. As soon as you walk in, you have a spot to hang up your jacket, spot for food, all that good stuff. Making our way right up the steps, let's talk a little bit about what we got up front here. So you have a bathroom right over here to the side. And this is pretty common, again, in most layouts. We have a bathroom off to the side right here. Nice big shower. A lot of times you get bigger showers in fifth wheels. And then if we come up front, it's our bedroom, right? And I talked about being mid-profile. And as you can see, if I get all the way up to the front as far as I can, I have to duck my head down. That's a pretty good sign that this is a mid-profile. And the weight that we have matches that, because again, you know, right around that little over 8,000 pound mark, it does allow us to tow this a little bit easier with a half ton. Now folks, there are so many other things I have to show you. I do want to get to the half ton unit, so let's go take a look at that one. And then we'll look at something a little even bigger than this one with a different style bunk room. So hold on and we'll be right back.
The Land, Water, and RV Show is the hottest event of the summer. Join us in stores or online the entire month of June to unlock the lowest prices of the year on chairs, tables, and patio mats. These show prices won't last. Summer trips are better with the right camp furniture, and we have the best recliners, loungers, club chairs, end tables, and more. Stock up for your next trip and get the best prices of the summer. Click, call, or visit your local Camping World today.
And here we are in the beautiful Cougar Half Ton 27 SGS. Now, you'll notice right away, this is just a very different setup, right? I talked a little bit ago about how you had different sections of RVs in your fifth wheel, right? And sometimes you kind of take the middle and the back half and combine it into one big living space. And that's what we have right here. And so this one is going to be designed more for a couple, right? More for two people. That's a lot of times you'll hear it called like a couples model or a couples coach if you're talking about like motorhomes, right? Where it's just designed mainly for two people, but a lot of times you do have options for guests. We'll get into furniture in just a moment. I'll talk to you a little bit about that because in this one, if you have any additional guests, that's where they're going to sleep. There's not going to be a dedicated bed. Another thing you'll notice right away is the fact that all the space I have here, right? The reason for that is because we have what in the industry is sometimes is called like opposing slides, right? Or dual slides, meaning that the slides are right across from each other. So it opens up and gives this huge space. And that's what I was talking about. That is what will allow you to have something like this, like a kitchen island. Now this is technically obviously a peninsula, but in order to get this in here, right, you have to have slides on both sides. Taking a look at this is what they call the campside slides. Let's take a look at this one real quick. They do a couple things I really like in this one. One of them is the fact the TV again is on an angle. This is about as straight across as you can get in this floor plan without, you know, putting it right here where the window is. So if you're back in these seats, you have a great shot to that TV. This particular floor plan again is a rear living. When you have chairs like this, a lot of people really like this style of floor plan because when you have this big window, you're able to see and enjoy all the sights in the back, right? Now, with this particular campsite we're in, obviously the view is over to the side, but you have that big window in the back. So if you're able to back into your campsite for that beautiful lake view, that in this particular floor plan, that's where you'd want it to be. So let's get a little bit into furniture. With fifth wheels, you'll have a table and you'll have two different styles, either technically three, because you have a booth style dinette, a U style dinette, or table and chairs like this. Table and chairs are great because they give you a lot of space, right? They're easy to get in and out of. As an adult, you know, especially if you're a little bit larger, you can kind of create or move the chair to create more space. You know, if you're big in the midsection, right, it allows you to move back, makes it a little bit easier to get in and out. You'll have a lot of leg room a lot of times. And honestly, I just think aesthetically speaking, I think table and chairs just looks a little bit nicer. It looks more residential. A booth dinette will give you, you know, just as the name implies, a booth, and a lot of times what that will give you is seating, or storage underneath the seating. You get some extra storage under there. A U-shaped dinette, a lot of people are under the impression that you can sit more people there. That's generally not the case, but what a U dinette does do for you is give you more sleeping space because it drops down into a nice big bed. As I mentioned in the back here, this one has recliners. Now, if you didn't want recliners, if you wanted a sofa instead, you can swap out furniture. Sometimes from the manufacturer, sometimes it will be aftermarket. We have design centers in a lot of our Camping World locations where you can actually go in and you can pick different furniture. You can pick different lighting. So, you know, if you have a used unit, you're looking to do a reno, or maybe you just don't like the layout or what the furniture is and you want to swap it out for something else, we can do that. And especially on a lot of newer units, we can actually color match and make sure we get something that looks like it belongs, or at least something that's going to be of a similar pattern. So if you wanted a sofa back there instead, a lot of times that is something that we can make happen. Now over to the side here, speaking of sofas, this one has what oftentimes will be called a tri-fold sofa. And what that essentially is this sofa will pull out, this right here drops down, and that's what creates your sleeping space. And a lot of times it's just one of the better sofas in the RV industry for sleeping. So you don't have a bar on your back. You don't have to worry about blowing up or an air mattress or having that deflate on you or anything like that. So a lot of people really like the tri-fold sofas. Up above that, I want to show you a little bit of the cabinetry, because when we talk about fifth wheels, a lot of times you get vast differences in aesthetics, right? So you can see here, right, with our slide fascia as well as your cabinets up top, right? You kind of have like almost like that farmhouse look, you know, kind of the not bright white, but kind of like an off-white, a little bit of brown accents in there. Looks really nice. Then if you look like over in the back side, right, you get your normal brown. So they kind of blend it together in this RV. And everyone does it a little bit different. That's one of the great things about fifth wheels. You have a lot of freedoms of different color choices. And some manufacturers even will give you different color choices within the same line. Another thing I really like about the Cougar is this right down here. And again, more manufacturers are going away from carpet, and they're starting to go to something like this, where it's either a woven material like this one, or sometimes they'll go with a vinyl like we have on the floor underneath. But that way, you know, it's less work of having to sweep, vacuum, anything like that. For countertops, you have three major styles of countertops in RVs, period, whether it's fifth wheels, travel trailers, motorhomes. There's really only three main types. One is going to be T-mold. Very traditional countertop. You know, you have that piece of T-mold in the side that, it will kind of pop out, and it's easy to get watered in. Generally, it's your least expensive type of countertop, which is why some manufacturers use it. They want to get the price down on that particular RV. What they put in this one is what they call a thermofoil or thermoformed, and it's kind of right in between like a true solid surface and that T-mold. The thing I like about it is it has a lot better water protection, right? You don't have any T-mold on the side. It goes all the way over, so it actually allows you to undermount the sink, which you can't do in T-mold. Plus, it's nice and lightweight, which in a half-ton fifth wheel is very important. And we'll talk a little bit about weights when we get outside, because it's not just normal weights, it's going to be pin weight as well. So I want to make sure we hit on that when we head out there. But again, beautiful cabinetry all throughout. You'll see this one has a little bit different oven setup, right? You know, you don't have the storage underneath, but you'll have knobs that light up right here. And this one does still come with an oven. And then we have the Norcold fridge freezer unit on here. Open that guy up for you. You can take a look. And again, plenty of space in this one. Now, as I said, you start to get into some of the like higher end luxury, right? A lot of times they'll have residential double door refrigerators, right? Whether it's Samsung or I think a lot of manufacturers using LG as well, but they are big residential refrigerators. So if that's something that you want, start to look at a little bit higher end fifth wheels. The options are there. That's why I love fifth wheels. I mean, you can get some, for, starting at like 50, 60,000, sometimes even maybe a little bit less. And then you can go all the way up to over 100,000, depending on what fifth wheel it is. So really cool. Lots of different options and amenities, but very similar setup up here like we had before, right? You can see, boom, right there is your bathroom. Come on into the bedroom here. Now, what you'll notice that's different about this bedroom is the fact that we have a slide out right here. So this one has a slide out wardrobe, and this again is going to be pretty common in mid profiles. And as I said, this one is meant to be half-ton towable, so this is a mid profile. And although I can stand up perfectly well right here, you will see there's a little step, and if I step up into that, oh, there it is, right? I have to bend down. And again, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It all depends on what you want. You want something that's easily towable? Do you want more headroom? You also notice this one has a vent up here, and it is prepped for a second AC. So that might be one of the considerations you look at, is if you want a second AC unit to keep things nice and cool. This one also has the in-command system, which is really cool. Let me show you this one real quick before we head outside. A lot of times right here is where a lot of manufacturers will put your all of your controls, right? Normally it's a big panel. One of the things I really like that Cougar does is they have the in-command system. It's super simple and easy to use. You'll notice you can operate your slides, your awnings, your lights, HVAC. In fact, this one is really cool because it actually has the ability to basically it has like a thermostat, right? So you can set your AC system, and so that way it kicks on at a certain time, which most RVs just don't have that. So if you want it to turn on at, the 9 p.m. that's when you go to bed, you can set the system in here to do that. So there are a lot of cool things, a lot of, different minor things that different fifth wheel manufacturers will do. As I said, folks, just all about what you want. Now let's take a little look at the outside of this one, because we'll notice some things that are a little bit different. We're gonna start right up front. So when we looked at the last fifth wheel, I talked a little bit about a Kingpin. You will notice this one is longer, right? Your pin box here is longer than that Rhino box. But what changed? Well, you get this right here. You have the pivoting head. And this is what I was talking about, the Road Armor system that helps take out some of that bucking and chucking when you're starting and stopping. The idea is that this moves, right, as your tow vehicle, well, again, starts and stops, and that way you don't get that kind of jerking motion when you're doing that. So nice change there. Now, while we're here, I do want to hit on half-ton fifth wheels. It's something that's thrown out there a lot, and it's kind of a misnomer. It's tough to actually describe because there are some weights that you have to pay a lot of attention to. Most of the time, when you're looking at travel trailers or you're looking at fifth wheels, your number one concern is your weight, right? And so you're looking at either your unloaded weight or your GVWR, kind of depending on how much stuff you want to put in it. And we have a whole nother video on weights. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend it on YouTube. But with a half ton in particular, a big consideration is what they call pin weight. And what that is how much weight is being transferred from this pin into your vehicle. Because, that when you start to go from a half ton to 3/4 ton to 1 ton, right, your biggest difference is going to be the suspension. They're able to hold more weight. But a lot of people don't want a 3/4 ton because they don't want it as an everyday driver. It just doesn't drive as smooth. They want that half ton pickup. But this one, for example, has 1,500 pounds on the pin. So you have to make sure that your half ton, the suspension of it, is able to handle the pin weight. When we're talking about half ton fifth wheels, folks, that is the number one place I see people go overweight, because a lot of your half tons can tow like 9,000, 10,000 pounds. It's the pin weight that'll get you. Dropping down underneath, again, pretty similar stuff here. This one does have auto level, different control. I'll show you that when we go on the other side. Some docking lights there, nice and clean up front. This one has a spare tire in there too. I do always recommend having a spare with you on a fifth wheel. They're big, they're heavy. You put a lot of stuff in there. Nobody wants to experience a blowout, but if you do, you will be very thankful that you have the spare right there and handy. Now, one of the other things you will notice right away from the last fifth wheel we saw, look how much space we have in this garage, folks. So, again, not all fifth wheels are built equal. This one happens to have a lot more storage space out here. You'll see that in-command system. This is kind of the brains of that system that we saw inside. It also has some redundancy, so if you need to manually control things from that control, you can. And also TV hookup right in there. So if you want an outside TV, this one makes things nice and easy. Now, when we were on the last fifth wheel, we talked about power awning. So take a look at this one. You will notice on this floor plan, your power awning is much shorter, right? And as I said, that does kind of limit your usable camp space. And as we talked about with that Peninsula, the biggest reason of that is because of this right here. You have a campside slide. So you get lots more prep space, you get a lot more storage, but just know that you're losing a little bit of outside space here. Now, one of the great other things about Cougars, this one does have Climate Guard, and that's something that you want to pay attention to if you plan on doing some colder weather camping. You want to make sure that it has a fully enclosed, insulated and heated underbelly, so your tanks and lines aren't going to freeze up on you. You'll want to make sure that your valves are insulated as well, because you don't want that freezing inside the inside of your termination pipe. And then I also recommend having tank heaters, right? So you can just flip a switch and you don't have to, again, worry about your tanks or anything freezing up on you. This one, of course, is a double axle. It's half ton. They do make triple axle fifth wheels if there's enough reason for it. And the basic reason is weight, right? How much weight do you have? If it's going to weigh enough, you need that extra axle. Very common in larger toy haulers. You'll have that triple axle. And one of the cool things about this one is right back here, and again, this is something that a lot of RVs don't have, or a lot of fifth wheels don't have. This particular one does, and that is a hitch. And you'll also notice this one has a 4-way plug. So if you have a trailer, some states will allow you to have a boat back here, right? We call it the train, where you have a truck, a fifth wheel, and then a boat behind that. And so this allows you to do that. Now, always pay attention to your state local laws, because some states don't allow it. Some have restrictions like length and things like that. But the fact that you have that is phenomenal. Now, as I mentioned, if you see this on a fifth wheel, you want to make sure that if you're planning on towing a boat, that it is capable of towing a boat. Sometimes manufacturers will just put a hitch receiver on there for things like a bike rack, right? And it can only hold like 200 or 300 pounds. It's not going to be able to actually pull anything. So do pay attention to that. But this particular unit does allow you to do that. What is it, 5,000 on here? Does it say 3,000? So 3,000 pounds on there. So you can, as I mentioned, be able to pull a trailer behind you. And then once again, ladder to climb up onto the fully walkable roof. So if you do have to get up there for anything, it's nice and simple. Last thing I do want to show you, come right up front real quick here. Walk around with me. Enjoy the beautiful view. Try not to fall. But as we make our way right over here, I do just kind of want to show you the convenience center on this one, because I really like it. It's tucked away. It's easy to get to. This is one of those things you'll find on a lot more fifth wheels than you will on your travel trailers, where everything is right here. And everything, is just, again, easy to access. You can see your valves right here insulated, right? They go into the fifth wheel itself. They're not just hanging out underneath there. You have this one is solar ready. It's another thing with fifth wheels. You can get big solar packages on there, and you will also notice that auto level controller is just a little bit bigger. There's a few more options on this particular unit. So folks, again, there are tons of different options when we start talking about fifth wheels. I have one more to show you. It's big, it's beautiful, it's a newer floor plan. I'm super excited about it. So let's wrap up on this one and head on over.
You want to do new things outside, and sometimes it's about that change of scenery. Woo! Just fulfilling that love for the outdoors that I have.
The best things happen outdoors, and they start at Gander RV and Outdoors.
And the last one I have to show you today, folks, is the Sabre 36 BHQ. Now, this is honestly one of my personal favorite newer style floor plans, what they call a mid-bunk. And the reason I love it is because traditionally, as we kind of saw in the beginning, the bunk house or the bunk room is in the back of the RV. And usually that back of the RV is reserved for like the best part of the RV in most cases. But with a mid-bunk, they're able to put they shift the bunks to the middle, and then you still get this awesome rear living room back here. And I like this because, I don't know, maybe I'm a selfish guy, right? But I like to have my space. I want the kids to have their own space too, but I like to be able to sit down and relax, and this right here allows you to do it. And again, you can see, some of the different colors we have in here, a little bit different woodwork. We have a ceiling fan in this one. You're going to have 2 ACs. You have a little bit different light fixtures. Just so many different options when we're talking about fifth wheels. I mean, look at this. You have lighting right behind your trim right up there, behind the crown molding. So there's definitely a lot of different really cool things they can do. In shades, this is something that's very unique to the Cherokee family of RVs, and which this one, the Sabre, does belong to. And these are what they call zebra shades. And these are kind of neat, the way they kind of lift up and down, because what you can do is you can just lift it just ever so slightly, and you get to control the amount of light that you want to let in. And they just roll all the way up, roll all the way down, super simple and easy easy to use. I really like those. And, nice, simple right here too for your window dressings, nothing overly complicated. They use really pretty lights. And again, I just like a lot of what they have done here. Now, you'll also notice that this one has, once again, the opposing slides, right? That's what opens this space up. That is what allows for your center island right here in your kitchen. And you will notice this one has a different type of countertop, right? You're looking at true solid surface right here. So, we're not concerned about weight. So we can have a heavier, little bit nicer countertop. So that's why they put the solid surface in here. You have the nice big high-rise faucet, and I absolutely love the sink in here. It's like that black stainless steel that's becoming really popular, and they use that for the sink, and I think it's really sharp. But again, not only do you get all this prep space, which is huge. It's what I love having the island for, is all the prep space, but you also get this storage. I mean, you can see right around here, all this extra drawer space, plus opening this up, right? You have space for a trash can underneath the sink. It's one of those things, folks, I always look for as a place to put my trash can. Maybe it's silly, but it's just one of those things that make a big deal for me when I'm looking at different RVs. And our entertainment center, storage all the way across the top, good size storage. And as we kind of talked about before, that TV is directly across from the main seating. And you'll see the main seating in this one, rather than being like a dinette or a sofa, is actually theater seats. And this is something that's becoming a little more popular too. And theater seats will have different options. Some of them, like this one, right, has heated seats. So if, you just want to kind of relax a little bit, you can heat the seat up. It also lights up, and it has a massage feature. So you can turn on that heat and massage. There are some theater seats that also are power seats. Those are fantastic because I have a lot of clientele where they go to try to put the footrest back, and it's hard, right? Maybe they have a knee problem or just don't have the leg strength. A lot of times it can be tough to do that. So the power seats are fantastic. The drawback to that, though, is they do have to have 120 volt power. So you either have to have shore power or you have to have a generator running. Now, again, this particular set of theater seats has a nice big center console, and this can change. Some of them don't have one in it at all, just like a little removable armrest. This one does. Big storage there, some cup holders, great theater seating in here. And then along the back is that tri-fold sofa, kind of like we talked about before, right? You can see that tri-fold right there. And this one does fold out into a large bed. Plus, you have the end tables, electrical outlets, everything you need. In fact, this one even has a fireplace. Now, I see a lot of people that see the fireplace like, Ian, why in the world do I need a fireplace? That is so overkill. And I couldn't disagree more. And yes, it does look nice, right? But that's only part of it for me. The bigger part is the fact that's an electric space heater that's just built in. So rather than just, have something ugly there where it's just like a box, with some slots in it, right, to kick out heat, they made it look nice. Why wouldn't you? It helps take the chill off in this main living space. I love when they put a fireplace in there. And we talked about pantry, right? Boom, there it is. Nice big pantry in this one. You'll see when I waved my hand in there, the light turned on. That's because it has a motion sensor light. Some of those things you will find. Some of them have it, some of them don't. A lot of times, some manufacturers will put them like in a doorway or in your garage storage as well. So when you open those up, that will come on for you. Right up top here, this of course will be our microwave. Again, sometimes, as I said, you will get convection, and here it is not, but you can. Right down underneath that, nice backsplash. You get all sorts of different backsplashes, very similar to our cooktop style we saw there. But when we get over to the fridge is a big change up because this one uses a residential style refrigerator, kind of like I talked about, right? Boom, there it is. You got the double door. Now remember, this one only runs off 120 volts. So again, you're going to have to, have shore power or a generator to run this for an extended period of time. Now it does have an inverter, so that way as you're traveling down the road, it will, stay running. But once you get to the campsite, you're going to need some kind of alternative power source. A couple of freezers down there too. Now the mid bunk, here's really where it takes over. Beautiful rear living, which is why I love it. But this right here is your mid bunk room. And the idea is that, it started with kids. Some manufacturers changed to call it a bonus room because, it's exactly that. It doesn't have to be for kids. You can have adults in here. You can have this as a secondary space. I've had couples where they like to watch different shows. They don't want to watch the same shows, and they want someone to have their own space. So one person will be out in the main living area, one person will be right in here because you have TV hookup. You can watch your show right in here. You got some storage for clothes, whatever else you want to toss in there. Then this tri-fold sofa will fold out into a bed. Now, I've also seen manufacturers that have this set up, but the ceiling is higher. And then there is a bunk up above this sofa, right? So you get a little bit extra sleeping capacity in this mid bunk room. The reason this ceiling is so low in this one, we'll see in just a second, is because there's a loft up top. So you have different options. Even within like a mid bunk fifth wheel, you have different options. Really cool barn door on this as well. I just want to show that. I really do like this. I think it's kind of stylish. I think Sabre did a really good job of picking up on a lot of the modern trends. Coming up the steps here, so just like I talked about before, right, that control panel usually located right here on the steps. This one is a little bit more simplified, not quite as easy as the Cougar we saw, right, where it just had one panel. So it has a few more switches on there, but at least they did kind of condense everything to this area. Then as we take another step up, this right here is the loft. Now there is a built-in ladder to get up there, but if you take a look up there, folks, this is pretty cool. You have a loft space, and there are a number of different fifth wheels with loft space. A lot of times, most of them I've seen are mid-bunk, but I actually have seen a lot of them recently where they put a loft above a bedroom. They actually end up putting the bedroom in the back of the RV. So it's usually a front living room fifth wheel, right? So instead of this being a bedroom, this is your living room. And then you actually walk down into the bedroom, but then up above it, they have a loft up top that can sleep like 2 or 3 people. So folks, there are so many cool floor plans when you're talking about the fifth wheel space. And then right in here, again, the bathroom. And we talked about the big advantage of fifth wheel bathrooms. The biggest one, in my opinion, being how big of a shower you can get. Let me step in here just to kind of show you. I am 6 foot tall. And as you can see, I have a ton of space. I mean, I could be 6'5" and still stand in here without having to duck down. You get a seat in here. I can turn sideways and still be able to shower. So that's going to be a big plus over travel trailers, right? A lot of times you have a smaller shower in a travel trailer. Most times fifth wheels will also have a big water heater. Now I would, this is where the travel lock is. Honestly, folks, if I were to get in and out of the shower, I'd get in and out this way, right? Just because that's going to be a much easier step than what I just had to go through. Boom, just like that. Another thing to pay attention to is your bowl on your toilet. Porcelain bowl on there is much easier to clean. Again, we're not concerned about weight in this fifth wheel, so we're going to have a little bit nicer amenities like porcelain over a plastic bowl, and that is going to be easier to clean. Come on up into the bedroom here. A couple of really neat features up here as well. This one, instead of having a slide out wardrobe, you see right there, you have a slide out bed, right? So touch a button, that bad boy slides out, gives you the space to be able to walk around the bed right down here, which I certainly like. And another thing you'll notice before we hit the wardrobe, one, you'll notice a second AC right up top, right? It's already built in. This is a big fifth wheel. You're going to want that second AC to be able to cool things down. Take a look at this though, folks. 6 foot tall. I'm all the way in the front of this RV and I can stand fully upright. I don't have to duck down in here. We're getting a bigger profile. Again, we are not concerned about weight in this one. Spot for a TV right there. Pretty common when you have a slide out bed like this straight across. Big wardrobe up front. This is a really cool thing for a couple different reasons. One, it just gives you a ton of space. You can see all the shoe storage down there. You have space to hang all your clothes. But more importantly is that this has washer and dryer prep. So if you're looking to spend a lot of time in your fifth wheel, right? Or maybe you're looking to live in it. We have a lot of people that are full-timers that live in their RV, or maybe, they do a 6 and 6. They live in it for, 6 months out of the year, but they want the ability to do laundry. And so you want to make sure you have that in your RV. And this one's really cool because it has standalone units, meaning you have a separate washer from your dryer. It's very common in RVs to have what they call a combo unit where both of them are in one, but most of the time you have to get that because of space. It's not ideal because it generally has smaller loads and it takes longer to wash and dry the clothes. When you can get a separate unit like this one, that's really ideal. So again, folks, there's so many different options when we're looking at fifth wheels. This is just kind of hitting on a couple of the things on the inside here, but let's take a look at the outside, right? I just kind of want to go over some of the differences. And I mean, you can see right away just how big this fifth wheel is. I mean, from front to back, from tip to tail here, it is a big RV. There's just no doubt about that. So let's head up front. Let's hit on some stuff on the front, and then we'll make our way kind of around down to the side. So once again, right, we look at the Kingpin, and you will see that this one, a little more basic here. We don't have, the Rhino box. We don't have the road armor, but that's okay. It still is a solid connection. And if that is something that's important to you, to have a different pin box on there, again, that is something that at a Camping World location, we can swap out for you. This one also has auto level. If you notice, the 3 we have today all have auto level. As I said, I recommend it. A lot of people see the value in it. If you don't, then don't worry about it, because it is a little bit of an expensive option. But most people, once they get auto level, they prefer to stay that way. You'll also see right up front, this is a little bit different, but that is your inverter. This box right here, that is your 1,000 watt inverter, and that inverter is dedicated to the fridge. As I mentioned previously, that is what allows you to be able to drive down the road and have your fridge stay nice and cool. Your auto level controls right over to the side, as well as a switch for your lights. Coming around to the side, let's take a look at our garage storage. So, a little bit different on this one. It's not quite as tall as the Cougar. It is a little bit wider, but you also see this one has some plumbing running through it. Again, not necessarily good or bad. It's just a little bit different. They could have put a wall here and made the ceiling lower and covered all that up, but instead they tried to give you as much space as they could, and they ran the plumbing through here, and they tried to get the plumbing over to the side, so that way, you don't have plumbing running like right down the middle of the garage. Sometimes they have to do that in an RV. It's certainly not my favorite, because you kind of have to work around it. You also see TV hookups if you want a TV, and of course, this space is lit up. Another really cool thing about this one, folks, you get an outside kitchen. A lot of times with the outside kitchen, as I said, on a bunk model, it has to go underneath one of those beds. Well, the beds are on the other side in the middle of the RV, but they still were able to carve out a space for your little outside kitchen right here. I love this. You have water access, both hot and cold. Plus, you get the little mini fridge here for beverages, which is really cool. And if you want to do some cooking, you want to hook up a grill, anything like that, right underneath is your propane quick connect. So hook up a grill, you can cook right there, do the whole 9 yards. This one also has like an option for dogs, right? A lot of us have dogs or cats or other loved ones that we bring with us when we go camping. This is super cool, because instead of having to take like a like a stake and drive it into the ground, boom, you just hook the leash up right there and you're good to go. Let's go on down a little bit further here. Let me shut that guy. You have the steps, kind of similar step system that we saw before. Nice big curved grab handle. And you'll see this one has a decent sized awning, but it doesn't run the full length of the RV. They're not able to put a second awning on here because of the slide. But is the trade-off worth it for you? You get that huge kitchen island. It's worth it for me. Might not be for someone else. I personally really like having that big island. So for me, I think it is definitely a win. Let's make our way around to the back real quick. There is a couple things I want to point out back here. One of them, again, with a big RV this size, comes with a backup camera. Definitely a smart move, folks. You want to make sure that, when you're backing up, you're not going to hit any trees or anything like that. You want to have great vision. That allows you to do it. And then right down here, this is really cool because, unlike the Cougar, right, where that Cougar we saw had the actual class 1 hitch, I believe it is, for the 3,000 pounds. Instead, this one is just an accessory hitch. This is the one where it has a 300-pound weight capacity built for like totes or a bike rack or something like that you can slide in there just to help you carry a few more things down the road. Now, folks, this is just a few of the different fifth wheels that are out there, right? Some of the different options. Hopefully, you're able to kind of get an idea of what a fifth wheel is, if a fifth wheel is right for you. Are you planning to tow your RV? Do you want the fifth wheel? Do you want a travel trailer? The options are definitely there. They're both great options, just depends on what you're going to be towing with and what kind of amenities that you're looking for. And as I said, we're just scratching the surface. There's so many different cool floor plans that are out there. And folks, if you're interested, I highly recommend just hopping online, taking a look at some of the different options, so that way you can enjoy nature, get out there, start kicking off your adventure, and have beautiful views like this.
Love you too, Papa.
Hey, honey, look what I got. A triggerfish.
Don't settle for the trips you've always taken. There's a different way to travel. And RVing is the way to go.
Take a look at this area. It's so cool. We're here!
You can see new things. Travel to new places. Seek new adventures. It's moving! All without leaving home behind.
You're so fun.
I know.
Travel different with Camping World.
At least for me growing up, nature has always been a form of relief and medicine. The idea of getting my family into nature is a form of grounding them. There's a lot going on in their heads. Having them out here kind of gets that stuff out, and then we can recharge. My name is Jorge Narvaez, and I'm here to show you how to plan a perfect family camping trip here in Southern California. First and foremost, find your home base. Here, this is Santee Lakes.
It's moving.
This is our headquarters for the rest of the vacation. And then we go everywhere and hang out. Hiking, going to the beach, and it's all nearby. Always plan for the unexpected. Embrace it, in fact. And that spontaneity becomes that moment where you take it in and you go, okay, now it's really like more developed moment, more developed memory, you know, bring out the guitar and jam out, relax, break bread together. Bring the fancy stuff out if you can, and make that a moment for you and your family. Try something new. Get out of your comfort zone. I haven't been that uncomfortable in a very long time, and then it just got released. My whole family got out of their comfort zone. None of them had ever experienced that before. Nancy! We all shared that unexpected moment. There's a good sense of pride. 1, 2, 3. Explore spots that are meaningful to you. I actually went to school nearby at UC San Diego, and when I was overwhelmed or I was feeling something, I'll grab my guitar and I'll just sit at the edge of the cliff and just jam out. To be able to bring back the kids to that space and seeing the place that I learned a lot from. I was able to successfully connect my past to my present with this experience with my kids and showing them how to explore and how I explored, but in such a unique way and as a family. It was the best thing ever.
last for day 2.
Hi, I'm
Ultimate-
Preeti.
And I'm Daniel.
And we run the family travel blog and Instagram Local Passport Family. We have 5 kids ranging from ages 1 to 10, and we've been RVing for almost a year.
And here's some pro tips for how you can help your kids get acquainted with RV life.
So a big part of how we got our kids acquainted to RV life during COVID is really being on the road. We didn't make an impulse decision, but it was a pretty quick process from when we started thinking about the RV to when we actually purchased it. I would say it was about 3 to 4 weeks to when we first started considering the idea to when we actually bought our RV and got on the road. So a lot of our learning really happened as we were on the road, kind of growing together and experiencing RV life together. So our kids actually taught us as much as we taught them in terms of what worked for schedules, bedding situations, getting out and about with the RV, and all those kinds of things.
Yeah, kids are like sponges, and so adapting to a new environment is life when you're young.
So our tip is don't be afraid to just start and try it out. I feel like I felt a lot of trepidation in terms of getting going. I'm a planner and I wanted to know everything beforehand. But really with RVing, there's no way to know everything until you've actually experienced it. The best way to learn it is just by doing it.
It's a lot easier than you're probably afraid it is.
So I felt like when we first left in the RV during that week when we were getting out to grandparents, we felt a lot of concern with, how often do we need to fill up water or how often do we need to dump? And we felt like we needed to be pretty conservative so we would never run out of water, But then we recognized that it lasts us longer than we realized that it would. So it felt like boondocking became a lot easier as we headed out on our adventure after. We were able to go for a few days and not really worry we had the facilities and the supplies that we needed.
When you are planning a trip for the kids, you want to make sure that they have enough to keep them engaged and occupied while you're on the road. And certainly when you're making those stops, it's super easy to bring on some simple baseball equipment or the soccer ball or something they're ready to go. We were actually road schooling as well, so we wanted to make sure that they had their laptops with them and we had enough of a battery pack so that we could always be charging while they were on the road. And that made it really possible to stay connected kind of no matter where we were, to their classroom, also while we're headed to family. That made a big difference.
It's really important to keep in mind that while active learning is absolutely important and necessary and also very possible in an RV, we have connections, we have a booster that allows us to access the signal so they could stay connected and read books. We download books all the time. All of that is wonderful, but it's also really important to remember that so much education happens while we're out and about together. So while we do want to supplement with some specific learning like math and books and that kind of thing, I want my kids to be able to explore organically and learn organically as well.
You don't always need to know exactly where you're going to be the next day. You don't always need to know that you have this stop that needs to happen by this certain time.
We definitely had a number of places where we loved it so much, so we were able to just extend our stay by a few days. We could spend some more time exploring through the Junior Ranger books or getting out in nature and learning about the plants and animals in that area. And so that flexibility definitely contributes to the learning as far as we've experienced.
Every child is different, but if you learn what's important to your child, I think you'd realize they probably don't require as much stimulus as we probably are ready to give them as parents.
We're always well stocked with books. We have a mini suitcase of physical books that we always keep with us. But then we also have a Kindle device. Our kids have school Chromebooks, and they're allowed to download books on theirs. So we use library apps to let them stay well stocked with books, and so they go through a lot of reading, and they always can stay up to date with that. And they also have some easy building toys that they keep in their seats that allow them to build those tactile muscles and keep their imagination strong as well. So the tip is really to find what your child connects with, what is exciting to them and what motivates them. So if they want to be able to spend time climbing rocks on a hike, one of our children really loves to do that. If we get out early, if everyone helps and we can get out on time, we'll have more time to climb rocks. Or you can pick out the movie for movie night. You can decide what we're going to eat for dinner, whatever your child loves. Those are all ways to help encourage everyone to participate and make it a great experience for the whole family.
We hope you found some of these RV pro tips useful to help you and yours get out on the road.
Be sure to check out other RV pro tips from other RV influencers and take your RV knowledge to the next level.
Welcome back to the Ultimate Land, Water, and RV Show. We're having a little bit too much fun up here. What's up? It's Chris Young, joined by my friends and contestants for the rest of the week. And when we started, you're just friends, but now you're contestants. By the way, how does everybody feel after that first kayak race? Are you ready for day 2's competition?
Still getting over that loss. We're kind of like frenemies, I guess, now. I'm feeling the tension.
Yeah, it's kind of tough to be this close to these competitors here.
Well, I mean, it's all for a chance to win the beautiful Napalo boat, which you see out in the lake behind us, which is great for kids, great for just regular old couples that want to go out. But the reason why I wanted to bring you guys here this afternoon was we have a lot of people that are experiencing RVing for the first time, that are experiencing how great it can be, the lifestyle. And a lot of them have questions about kids, from babies all the way up to almost adults. And I thought, since you guys had a little bit of time, let's talk a little bit about how we can get the kids excited about RVing. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah, sounds great.
Can we lean on that expertise?
It's our lives.
Yep. As we're holding our children.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, under blankets and eating snacks. So if you're following along with us right now on social media and you want to ask something, be sure to throw your comment down below. We'll try to get to them as best we can, but we do have some that we have picked. And guys, we're going to get rocking and rolling right here. Really good one to start off with. Does the RV type matter? And if so, what's the best RV for kids? Keith, I'm going to start with you since you're furthest away from me right now.
Well, that's a great question. I don't necessarily think it matters. I think what matters is what's best for your family.
Okay.
And depending on the age of your child, that may change. Mm-hmm. We have a Class A diesel pusher, a big RV, and it's perfect for us. Is everything perfect? No.
Right.
We do make it work the best we can, and we seem to enjoy it each and every time we're in it.
Right. Bryce and Nellie?
That's funny. We actually started in a Class A and just had our 1 bedroom because she was, almost 3 months old when we left. She didn't need a room,
Right.
She couldn't even walk. We actually moved to a 5th wheel because it does have a separate room and we have a deck that goes down. So that's
toy hauler.
Really nice. Yeah.
Yes.
On the toy hauler, we have the deck that goes down so the girls can be outside and play and we know where they are. And that's actually been a huge win for us.
Okay. Bryce, anything to add?
I agree with that. And also, it's kind of similar to just like renting a home or buying a home in some ways, where you're going to find things there and you're like, you know what, I might change a little bit to make it feel like home, or
Sure.
You figure out how to work. Whatever rooms are available, your kids figure it out.
Sure.
Similar thing with RV.
Okay. All right, Dan and Lindsay, what do you think?
For us, well, first of all, we're still learning. I'm sitting here like, okay, take notes, Dan,
Right.
because we have a 4-month-old. So the biggest thing for us was just space. We just wanted to make sure we felt comfortable with our dogs and the baby. And so we did get a different RV as we, got baby boy. And we just pictured, okay, what do we do in the house? Where's his space? And we tried to recreate that in the RV. So we put a little changing station on the dresser area that you'll find in a lot of RVs. And then we just made sure we had a spot for his bassinet, found a tiny little side table that fits between the bed and the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really all he needed. And, I'm sure when we get to the preteen stage, we'll reconsider. And
Right.
Yeah, and then the only other thing that I think was important for us was not just the space for Miles, but also how having a child in the RV was going to impact the other spaces that we need. So for us, we work from the road.
Okay.
So the RV that we got, it was really important to make sure that there was a door between where Miles could be and where I or we would be working. So that was just something, a small thing that we wanted to make sure. That way, if there are situations where maybe he's napping, he can be back there and stay quiet. Or if he starts crying, then he can be back there and not interrupt the phone conversation or whatever. So that was something we thought about too.
Now, Tia, would you say separation of space is key as well? Because I'm big on it. I love my separation of space.
I thought that would be more important to us, but I found that we've come together as a family, just the times and the moments that we shared together. In fact, when we go home, the boys will typically huddle around in the oldest boy's room and spend the night there for the next couple of nights when we get home. So the space is not really, the important factor. It's how we come together as a family. It's just brought us really close.
Okay.
But Chris, I like the fact that our bedroom has a door that closes off
Yes.
from the kids.
Yes.
They have their space, we have our space, and I think one of the things Tia's done in our Class A is she's carved out little spaces for the boys, so they each have something that they want, that they like, that's theirs. Whether it's the Legos or the blanket from their bed that they bring with them in the RV, whatever it is, everyone has their own little thing, that little piece of space that's their own.
That's beautiful. But you think it's absolutely vital and important that if you're going to be picking one out, bring the kids along, let them check it out. Does everybody agree with that?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Our kids love RV shows, love going into RVs. I mean, they're jumping on every bed. We have to calm them down. Relax, okay? It's not ours. We haven't bought it. So, but I think it's part of the fun as a family. If you get them involved in all stages of it, they'll have that ownership in it.
That's beautiful. Now, another follow-up question to that one is, do you need an RV that has bunks if you have more than one kid? Is it essential to have bunks? Bryce and Nelly, you got 2 kids.
You know what? I say no. I mean, we don't have bunks, and we could have picked any layout we wanted, but we chose not to have bunks, and it's worked out fine so far. Although when we renovate, we will have bunks. But they got 3 boys. I know you guys' situation's a little different, so I'm curious to hear you.
3's a crazy number. I mean, 2 you can manage. When you're outnumbered, everything gets thrown off with that third child. And
They all sleep in tents outside, don't they? Don't lie.
I wish that day's coming. I'm telling you. Tia really has wanted bunks from the first time we got our first RV. Always talked about whenever we look at another RV, it's, does it have bunks? But we have made it work. We took out our booth dinette and created 3 separate sleeping areas for the boys. I know you were talking about making your own. I think that's the biggest key. Whatever RV you get, you can make some changes and make it fit your family's needs, which will change over time.
Right.
It may work out perfect when you buy it, but a year from now, as they get bigger, you may look at those bunks and say, oh, you know what? You may have tall girls. We have tall boys. The standard bunks won't fit them in a couple of years. So we had to make a decision on not just today, but on the future of what's best for our family.
Nice. So here's one that I know is paramount on people's minds and that I think everybody's gone through. How do I get my kids excited about RVing when they seem to spend so much time on electronics? So Bryce and Nelly, I know your girls are a little bit smaller, and Avi's seen all 50 states. So she's obviously probably excited anyway, but how do you keep them excited? How'd you get them excited?
Yeah. Yeah, she didn't know electronics starting off,
Right.
But talking about the experiences you're going to have, and with traveling with them and being in an RV with them, it became more about the moments. One thing that I loved is there was many times where we'd be going on the road and we could tell okay, Nelly and I could have driven for another few hours, but they were done. And so we look up a park, and we're like, you know what, let's go and hang out there. And if they love it for a few hours, we'll just stay the night in this area. No big deal. And so making sure just to, throughout it all, follow their energy. If you can tell they need a break and just whatever, go with that versus being so focused on the destination and checking the box. But as you get them involved, I think that's the main trick. No matter the age, if they're involved, like you were talking yesterday with their studies, like they were studying different places and then you go there and actually see it firsthand.
Yes, that's huge.
And they go back to school, or if they're still homeschooled, but if they go back to school and say, I actually went there where we're studying, like game changer.
Right. Keith and Tia, how'd you get the boys excited about it?
Well, my boys are closer to the preteen ages, and they're in the preteens, and they love their electronics. Don't get me wrong. We haven't been able to wean them off of it when we're at home. But once we hit that RV, we'll allow them to do the electronics when we're driving because that keeps them occupied. Are we there yet? We don't have those problems.
Right.
They can ride. We've done Florida trips for like 10 hours. We've driven and they've been fine. But once we hit that campground, it's all about the experiences. Keith does an amazing job of planning. He plans way ahead and he gets the kids involved in the planning. So we find out what's going to be around in the area that we're camping in, what excursions, what activities, what museums, get them involved in all of that. And they're ready to go as soon as we hit the campground.
Nice. So it seems like the experience and the adventure is really what will kind of just tune them back into it. That's kind of what I'm hearing.
And try to plan things or take advantage of things. This beautiful campground we're at right now, there's a lot of wildlife. Our son Jason, his favorite animal is a white-tailed deer. Don't ask me why he adopted that, but he did. And each night we're here, we hop on the golf cart and we've gone through the woods and we've spotted deer after deer, and his face just lights up.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
he just constantly, Dad, can we go look for more deer? Can we go look for more deer? So it's not about the electronics. It's about he just wants to get out there in nature and experience that and see his favorite animal.
That's beautiful. Now, Dan and Lindsay, how hard is it to travel with infants?
I wouldn't say it's hard. It's just different. We always say that. It's just, babies, children, they change your life. It just makes everything different, but not hard. It is more enjoyable too. Of course, there's challenges. Of course, we have to prepare more. We go a little bit slower. But I mean, you're listening to you guys. It's just so rewarding. Even at 4 months old.
Right.
We step outside and the trees, just dipping his toes in the water.
Right.
There's just the moments.
But what are some of those planning changes that you got to go through when preparing for the travel?
Like I said, going slower. We can't. We used to sometimes do 5 to 7 hour driving days and kind of go crazy and want to get places quickly. But now it's like, okay, we have to kind of work with his feeding schedule, and we can only go about maybe 2 hours before we have to stop. Like we're saying, the little modifications, making sure that he's comfortable in the RV. It's not just about us.
And then also planning into the things that we're doing too. So not just the travel days, of course we have to plan for that, but if we're going to go to a national park, for example, it looks a little different now with Miles than it did before.
Right.
We maybe can't do some of the hikes that we did before at this point, and we just went to Bryce Canyon and Zion and those parks, and it was kind of fun because we just said, we have another reason to come back now because we didn't get to do some of the trails that we really wanted. So we have to plan logistically for that, bringing food, all that stuff. But yeah, it's not harder. It's just different. But like Lindsay said, it's been really, really enjoyable so far, and we're excited to continue RVing with Miles, forever.
Right.
So.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, at 4 months, he's going to learn, on the road, which is awesome. He's going to be living it.
Yeah, and I do think, like to Bryce's point, one thing we have had to do is you get a sense for how much that they can travel, what they can take, and when he's done, it's time to stop. We're not going to just keep driving while he's screaming back there. So
right.
That part being a little bit more flexible is a little bit different than it was for us before.
Okay,
Yeah,
Bryce
a lot-
and Ellie, yeah, same thing.
It's a lot less stressful. You don't have to.
Speaking of, hello.
I don't know if you heard her. Hi. But it's a lot less stressful because it's like, you can boondock, you can pull over. If you're a good SAM member, you can stay overnight at a Camping World.
Right.
Easier to do that than now we got to find a hotel and now we got to do this. And having an RV just makes it easier in that way to be able to pull these audibles or detours. And another thing too, as you were talking, Lindsay, it reminded me when Avi first stepped into an ocean, and like when we had that experience in Florida and South Carolina, and then clear up in Maine, even just so good.
Right.
Those experiences, and we look back at those pictures, and she talks about it and gets excited for the next new thing that we're going to see and experience.
Yeah, I think Miles has been to 5 national parks now, and he's not even 5 months old.
Wow.
So it's really fun to just,
One a month, huh? One a month.
Yeah,
Keep
we're
going.
working hard. Yeah.
And I
But,
picked it
just
up.
to have that opportunity to look back at those photos and say, Miles, you've done this like you were there, it's really rewarding.
I think to your point, both of you, actually, I remember back to those times when we had all toddlers, and just having all of their things with us, having the space to have all of their things with us, not having to carry it to an airport and all of that, and the cumbersome nature of just having a child and all of their things. It's a lot easier in an RV and a campsite. You have all of their things. You can spread out, give them space to enjoy their surroundings. And I just think that's just a marvelous part of RVing.
So it sounds like it's just easier to travel with infants because you're in your own home and their stuff's going to be there anyway.
The sooner the better.
Okay.
Avi knows neither of them know anything different, and so it's all good.
That's beautiful.
Get
Now,
them going.
yeah, just keep them going. So what are some of the best campgrounds for little kids, and what amenities should I look for that I might not think about? I think that's a good part because you guys have had a chance to go through the campgrounds, go through a lot of the spaces, and probably have discovered some amenities that you didn't even think about, but now are something that are added to the list. So if folks are asking and looking for the first time, what are some of those? Jergies, I'm going to go right back to
Got
you
a
guys.
whole list of them. Okay, they have to have a playground or at least a playground nearby. Some RV parks don't have them, and it's kind of a bummer. They have everything but a playground, and you're like, why? Hiking trails is always nice because that always keeps the kids busy. They can just go run off or, whatever. It's just always nice to get kids out in nature. And then we can be by water of any sort, river, lake, ocean, beach, you name it, pool. Like generally, if you have those three things, I feel like kids are just good.
Okay. All right. Keith and Tia?
Our boys are like fish. They love a pool, ocean, any water. So I think that is like the biggest thing that we look for. I know Keith likes to do the hiking trails, and I go out with the kids on that. So that's a lot of fun. I have. Don't sell me short.
All those things are great. If they have, like you said, a playground is good. Some kind of play thing, whether it be a jumping pillow, any water. You've already mentioned that. Being able to jump in a tube and just head on down the river is something that's fantastic. Sometimes the hay rides are great. We love having a fire pit, whether it be a group fire pit, which is great to meet other families, or by your campground. I mean, because our boys, every time we go, hey, Dad, are we doing s'mores? Okay, well,
yes,
we'll do them at least one night.
Yes, yeah.
So all those things bring your family together and bring it with other families together, so the kids get an opportunity to meet each other.
Right. Dan and Lindsay?
I'll also add, we do a lot of camping with our nieces and nephews, and campgrounds now have theme weeks, and they have crafts and all these planned activities, and our nieces and nephews do crafts and bring all this stuff home. It's like, it's like daycare right there.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So there's 2 in Colorado we've been to already this year that it's like kid heaven.
So
They
just
really
check the
cater
campground to see if they got like a schedule of events that you might be able to pick up on when you get there.
Yep.
That's a great point. Bryce?
We didn't think about that much when she was really little, and you having nieces and nephews helps with that. We pulled into an RV park in Pennsylvania, I think it was, around Halloween. And we're like, oh yeah, it's Halloween. And all the RVs were decked out, ready for trick-or-treaters. This was in 2018.
Oh, that's
It was awesome. It was like, this is so cool. Just so even themes around holidays and stuff, like those are things to look for.
Yeah, it's funny because that actually leads into the next question. How great is the families of the communities of campers? When you're out there at the campgrounds and you see other families, how open and inviting are they? Keith and Tia?
The kids get along great. Our kids have never had a problem making friends at the campground. I have one of my favorite pictures is we were at a campground in Orlando over the holiday season, and the kids skateboarded and scootered for a week together. And this little girl, they were a little bit littler back then, came over and she was leaving, had to give everyone hugs. And I have a great picture of the kids all hugging right in front of the door of the RV. And it's just those kind of things that when you're in a campground with other kids, they just bond instantly. And it's about, hey, let's go play. Simple as that.
That's beautiful. Dan and Lindsay, you seen any campgrounds that kind of stand out?
Honestly, I was just going to kind of add to that because we kind of had to make a decision if we wanted children. And there was something about RVing and the families that RV that were so inspiring to us. And the children who are learning on the road, there's so much more. I think people worry about their social skills, and they're so social and so mature. And it's honestly what inspired us to do it. And we look up to you families so much.
Oh, that's awesome. Dan?
Yeah, just to add to that, I mean, really to echo that, we have continually been impressed, before Miles when we were just RVing and, meeting other, folks that are traveling with their kids, and just could never believe it how well behaved and just well adjusted these kids are.
Right.
And they just seem to be slightly different in a good way. It's just like they're very well behaved around adults. They can interact with kids. I think it's something to do with having to adjust so often and maybe I don't know. I'm not a psychologist, but
who knows?
I don't know. We're just
working, right?
We're just always blown away. Yeah, it's amazing.
All right, Jergies.
Yeah, I actually really like this question a lot because it's so interesting. When COVID was happening, I was actually pregnant with Indy, and so we did find. And, RV parks were shutting down there. So we found, we found a home. Yeah, they're good now, guys. Don't worry. But we found a home for a few months so I could deliver Indy and, just kind of be safe. And it is so funny. I mean, it was COVID, but even in our suburb area, like just nobody talked to each other. Everybody kind of kept to themselves. But as soon as you get to an RV park, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's nature or just being outside or what, but I feel like it gives kids confidence, gives them freedom, and they are social and they're happy and they want to play with each other and they're not fighting over iPads. And it's like so good. And I feel like we didn't get that in our neighborhood, but in an RV community, totally got it every time, no matter where we go.
All age groups, they'll play together.
Yeah.
It's not just, oh, what grade are you in? I'm just going to play with you. Everybody plays and everybody plays well.
That's
right.
awesome.
And you have the best playground at the campground, nature.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
That's absolutely, that's beautiful. Okay. What about the adventurous teen boys? Any suggestions on campgrounds that are good for them?
It's pointing at us, Tia. Huh?
Keith, yeah, I was gonna say that's actually aimed right at the Soulful RV family right there.
Campgrounds, again, it's based on what your kids like to do. She told you I'm a planner, so wherever we're going, we will look at things in the area. I always look for some good hiking. The kids absolutely love science museums. We have been in science museums from Miami to Maine. And if there's one in the area, we will do that. Tia loves history museums. We'll go to Black history museums. We'll go to American history museums. So we try to plan out different activities. And that campground is just like our home. It's that center, that home base. Right. So hopefully it has the things that we need, the pool, the playground. So when we're there, the kids have things to do, but we love doing the excursions. So when you're planning and thinking about campgrounds, it's not just the campground, it's things in the immediate area that you can do that's close by. And then of course, good food.
Yes. Yeah. Tia, do you want to speak to that at all?
Well, our boys are very active. So, I mean, it's easy to keep them engaged when we're outside. We have a football, we have a soccer ball, and we're outside, bikes, scooters. They're taken care of. I mean, boys are so easy.
See, I mean,
oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hang on. I got two, and sometimes it's the necessary evil. Sometimes we were joking about that earlier, but it is beautiful when you get a chance to see them get out there and get active and get away from everything and just enjoying that community. I mean, it like you were talking about with the communication, and it just works. Somehow it works. It is amazing how they won't communicate in school. They won't communicate in the neighborhood, but they'll meet an absolute stranger at a campground and just be best friends in 20 minutes. I mean, it's the most amazing thing on the planet. Keith, did you want to add anything?
It's okay. I was just going to say, the beauty of boys, I know you don't have them, is you don't worry. I certainly don't worry when they fall down.
Right.
They can get dirty, and I'm all for it. Now, I have an older daughter where if she hit the ground, I was running over and picking her up right away. Now, like in football, we say just rub an aspirin on it.
That's right. Just put dirt on.
Come on, you're ready to go. So with boys, it's easier to get out there and just have fun. Let them run ruckshaw. Have a good time. Give them food, water, and a little shelter.
Yeah, food. Yep, there you go. They're good. Okay, this one starts off, help. How do you keep kids entertained on long trips? Jergies, coming to you first.
You asking because of that 10-week tour that we had to do?
That potentially could be part of it.
Oh, no, that actually was great. You know what is so interesting is that we actually, majority of the time, did not give Evelyn our phones, the iPads. We just didn't do it. Kind of what Bryce said. We took breaks. We went to parks. We got food. We went to the store. We did something fun. And then we just spent time as a family as much as we can. Like we sang songs. We had dance parties. I know every kid's so different, but I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, we'd also time our trips, morning nap, afternoon nap.
Okay.
And then play in the middle, Yeah, we'd leave right after. So during the show, we'd go to start at the next destination.
Right.
So if it's in the evening, they're napping. So then they'd wake up. We'd have things for them to look for. I mean, colors, basically,
Yeah.
Versus like, look for these words. Can't do that yet. Working on it.
They're getting there.
Yeah.
Getting there.
And then, we do have a tray set for Avi that goes over, and it's collapsible and safe with her car seat that she can draw on. She colors. We put snacks on there. Indy just snacks and talks to us, Right. And then if it gets bad, we'll pull over with her and then just go like relax outside and play, and then we're good.
Well, I mean, the great thing is, you're traveling with your home. So, you got a spot where you can go back, relax, do the whole nine. Now, Danny and Lindsay, you kind of touched on this a little bit earlier about how it's kind of changed, where you used to go 6-7 hours, but now you stop every 2 hours. Now, Miles probably doesn't need a whole lot of entertaining, but you still have to do the stops for him.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably more based on feeding for him. You know, when he wakes up, he's hungry. Yeah.
He sleeps the whole time, so we're like golden now. But I'm a little
That motion's
worried.
great, man. Yeah, that motion sleep is great.
Puts him right to sleep, but yeah, you have to be prepared for the moment you stop. He wakes up and he needs his bottle. And
right.
That's always fun. Every time we pull into the campground, you know, you got to get out, you got to do the check-in, and I mean, every time he starts screaming, and then. You know, because he's hungry, he's got to eat. And then they always, you know, the person comes up and they're trying to help me get to my site. And I'm like, listen, give me a map. I can figure out how to back in there. Do you hear this kid back here? Like, your golf cart is too slow. Move out of my way, you know? So, but no, it's great. But yeah, right now it's not too hard to entertain him at the moment.
With adventurous boys, that preteen area, come on to you. How do you keep them entertained on those long
tell
trips?
us.
Help us out.
Here's a secret now. I think it's great that we have a drivable, which means the boys are able to get to the refrigerator and get a snack when they need to.
Okay.
I mean,
so being turtle friendly might be key.
You know.
Okay.
Also, they're able to watch a movie. They can listen to their favorite podcasts. They have their iPads. So they're each listening to, they have their science podcasts that they listen to. KJ is into a lot of gaming stuff. So he'll listen to his gamers.
Yep.
So they keep themselves pretty busy. And I also make them bring books. So we usually, if it's going to be a short trip, we'll stop at the library before we leave. And each of them will have 10 books.
Right.
And they're expected to at least read one long book.
Okay.
One long chapter book.
Okay.
For the trip.
Yeah.
And
do you set up like a reward system for that, or is it just you got to read a book?
You have to read the book.
I love it. I love it. Yes.
And tell me what it was about.
Yes.
You know?
Parent goals.
Yes, absolutely. Parent goals.
And don't be afraid to tell your kids and I do this all the time. We both do this all the time. It's not our job to entertain you. Okay. Our parents didn't entertain us when we were on road trips.
Yes.
Look out the window. KJ, Jason even likes to sit up in the chair. They're my co-pilot when I'm driving or her co-pilot when they're driving. Yeah. And we talk about what we're seeing. I'm talking about road signs. So I'm teaching them those things. And that's a great opportunity. You haven't done this a lot when we go on boys trips, but I'll have them up front. And I'm like, okay, we got 45 minutes. This is your opportunity. Ask Dad any question you want. And
I like
start firing away at questions. And they may not come up with some. We were recently selling our house and closing. So that was a great opportunity to really talk about the house selling process. What's it like? Do they have any fears, any concerns? So kind of talk to your kids too.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're on a 10-hour ride, it's tough.
A great opportunity. Yeah.
But you break it up. Maybe a little time on your tablets, a little time reading, a little time in a movie. Tell them, go take a nap. I wish I could take a nap on some of these trips.
Right.
Take advantage of that time and just bond together. And like you said, the podcast, the playlist, I'm teaching them my music. When we were kids, we didn't get a chance to put on what we wanted to hear. I learned my parents' music because I was forced to listen to it all the time.
Yep.
And I love it now. So I'm teaching them the same thing.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, yeah, go ahead, Lindsay.
I just love that because even Dan and I before Miles loved the long road trips because we would turn down the radio and we would just talk about everything. Sometimes I think life gets so busy that you just don't have time to talk. And I absolutely love that you just take that time. And
no, that's spot on because a lot of times we don't get a chance to communicate in our own homes, but a perfect chance when you're locked in an RV going down the road to communicate. Bryce.
Yeah, I realize that now. So my dad had his own business doing construction, and all the time he'd be like, hey, will you come and help me do this? And it was things that I felt like he needed me to come help with.
Right.
And I realize now I actually made it take twice as long being there, but he did it for the drives. And he looked for those opportunities because that's how he was able to check in and see how are things with our friends.
Right.
What am I struggling with? What am I loving in life at that time? And so look forward to that because every kid understands I'm stuck in the car right now because we're going to a destination. It's a good opportunity.
I love that. And, you know, it is funny how you mentioned your boys are listening to podcasts about gamers. My kid does the same thing. He watches videos of people playing games that he has. I don't
get it at all.
I don't get it at all. For me, it was at Atari.
Right.
It was a beautiful thing. I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole. Okay. This one's great. What type of meals are great for kids and how do I get them excited about camp cooking? Grill Master. Come on, take it away.
Well, my wife does a great job at meal planning. So when we're traveling, she has the meal plan. We always know what we're having when we get to the campground. Now, as far as getting them excited, recently I took part in the Great American Cook-Off.
Yeah, you did.
And this is something our family's always done. We've liked watching cooking shows on TV. We'll sit in our bed, all of us together. Kids will be in there. We'll watch these cooking shows together. So having an opportunity to compete in that, taking second, should have been first. No. The boys are more excited than ever. KJ, every time I'm grilling, will come out, hey, Dad, what are you doing? So I'm teaching him how to flip steaks, to understand the temperature of meat. So I'm really kind of passing that tradition on to him. And the other boys like, well, if you guys do it next year, can I come? I'm like, hey, you know what?
Absolutely.
I'd love to have you. So, yeah. So
That's
if you find an interest, if they have any kind of interest in it, then just let that interest grow. Teach them. She does it part of homeschool. Cooking recipes, that's a great science lesson. I mean, all these things can help them learn and help them have that little bit of seed planted as far as cooking.
Right.
It'll definitely grow.
One of the things I like, speaking of the Great American Cook-Off, which, by the way, if you haven't seen it, please go check it out. You did a smoothie that had greens in it, and you couldn't even tell. Tia, is that something you guys do to try to incorporate the change from just the burgers and the dogs when you're out on the road?
Yes, because my husband is not a vegetable person. And I'm, for the most part, plant-based. I don't eat meat at all.
Okay.
So we play to our talents. So he's great with the meat, and I provide the veggies and all the fruits and other things that his meal might be missing.
Right.
I wasn't there.
How do you prepare it on the road? I mean, is there anything different that you do? I mean, is there stuff that the boys won't eat at home?
There are a lot of things that the boys won't eat. So you have to sneak it in.
Right.
But I love to have my air fryer and my pressure cooker on the road. And that I've found an all-in-one air fryer, pressure cooker, and that works for me. And it takes up very little counter space, and I make that work. And most of the RVs now come with the convection ovens. So you can bake I've done a Thanksgiving turkey on the road. So let nothing hold you back.
Yeah. Nothing holds you back. Yeah, Keith.
And after the Great American Cook-Off, the boys saw my smoothie. So now we have a NutriBullet in the RV.
Okay.
And
All
they're
right.
making their own smoothies just about every day. They're looking up recipes online.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that just, again, sparked that. They said, okay, I want to be able
That's
to do
cool.
this. I don't need your help, Dad. I want to do it myself.
That's cool. Now, Dan and Lindsay, I know you guys traveled, with the nieces and nephews and stuff like that. How did you get them into the camp cooking? I mean, Miles right now, not really worried about it. Yeah.
I just think kids love, you mentioned hamburgers and hot dogs, but cooking over the campfire is so fun. And they've said it a million times, just involving them and letting them be a part of it, I think is the big piece.
Is there something other than hot dogs and hamburgers that you guys like making when the kids are around?
S'mores.
Yes.
That's always a winner.
That's the best dinner on the planet, man. Camp s'mores.
Yeah, usually we do a big family like potluck, which is so fun. If you can RV with friends and family, it's where everybody brings something and it feels like a community. So, and the kids like that.
It's awesome. When you get to the campgrounds, you guys do like group cooking at the campgrounds as well?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. See, to me, that's always fun when, everybody's got like the big grills out in front and you just come over and everybody's making things communal. Now, Bryce and Nelly, same question. What do you make for the girls?
Avi, what's your favorite breakfast? I thought she'd answer it. Pancakes.
Pancakes, yep.
Yeah, everything about them. She loves it. So we have a step stool we got from Camping World that puts her up at the right height at the counter.
Okay.
And we have the griddle, and we actually blend spinach and put that in the pancake batter mix now.
Really?
And yes, it makes them a hint green. Doesn't matter. You put honey on it, syrup on it. She loves it. And but she'll pour it.
That's a great idea.
And she gets so excited about it.
Yeah.
And we burn a few because she's doing it, but she's
absolutely.
involved and loves it. And
yeah.
She actually wakes up and says, "Making pancakes," So that's a big thing for us.
Thank you for the new tip.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's actually a great tip.
Sometimes we stick kale in there too, and it's great.
I love it.
Sneaking those veggies in. But you know what? I don't want people to think like you don't have to like go out on camping food to be a camper.
Right.
We totally cook just normal meals and it's totally fine. If you don't like hot dogs, don't bring hot dogs. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it is very nostalgic for kids. And I remember that as a kid,
Yeah.
So definitely do that. But it's not hard. Just cook what you cook.
Yeah. You want to make lasagna in the oven? Go for
Bring it.
Yeah.
It's
bring
not hard at all to bring food on the road and to cook. Not at
Speaking
all.
of, each one of you guys got to give me a favorite meal recipe and how to do it. You know, just one that you love making on the road, whether it's for kids or not. Dan and Lindsay, go. What's your favorite thing to make? Come on. I know cooking's not your specialty. Yes, I know. Dan's like, well, I got this Blackstone.
Yeah, I mean, probably my favorite thing is breakfast. So
Okay.
whether it's like breakfast tacos or yeah,
Yes,
I mean,
thank you.
it's
Yes,
just the
she said
best.
you got to smell bacon in the campground. That's it's a law. Look it up.
And I just love those Blackstones because they're like the king of breakfast.
Yes.
You know, and so I don't really have anything specific, but it has to be breakfast based. And if it can have green chili on it, even better.
Well, breakfast taco, that's a win. Bryce and Nelly?
We like bowls of stuff. Like we like to do rice and like sweet potatoes and avocados and then a meat of some sort. Like if you can just throw it in a bowl even for leftovers, it's a win. We're
Okay.
big on like bowls.
Easy. Okay.
And we do have a Blackstone grill now, and so I've done steak a few times on it. I'm geeking out about that.
Right.
I even got the thermometer,
You're
you
so
know, to
awesome.
stick in, and
wait until you get the
which
meat.
probably shows that I'm a newbie with it, but but I love it.
Yeah.
Love it. All
It's
right,
like,
Keith
come
and
on,
Tia.
man, we don't need
Yep.
no thermometers.
I think our favorite meal, or their favorite meal, because I no longer eat it, but on moving day, it's what our travel days,
Mhm.
I will put a chicken fajita in the slow cooker, and I put it on when we leave, and by the time we get to the campsite, ready to go.
You can't
Speaking to
do
my
that
soul.
That's
without.
an award-winning chicken fajita. It is so tender and so juicy, and I eat it for days.
So that's how you keep your kids behaving. They smell the good food, and
Yes.
you're like, hey, if you don't behave,
Yeah.
you don't get to eat. And they're like, yeah,
You can't do that in a Suburban. That's way. That's
Yeah, I
awesome.
know, right? Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can catch the itis from smells. So, I mean, it's a beautiful thing. So, would you all say that, pre-prepping a meal for the kids is also essential, especially on travel day?
Yeah, definitely. We definitely try to plan it out and have that dinner because it depends how far you're driving. If you're driving 2 hours, it's a little different.
Right.
And when you drive 3, 4, 5 hours, we like to have that meal prepared or at least all the ingredients ready. And when we get to the campground, usually I'll take the boys out. We'll hit the playground or go out and stretch our legs and give her an opportunity to set up the inside
Right.
and get dinner ready. And then we come in and we're starving, so we're ready to eat at that point.
That's right on. Bryce and Ellie, do you guys pre-prep meals for the girls before you hit the road? What do you usually
Lots
do?
of snacks. We do like salamis and cheeses and snap peas and blueberries. And we actually try to do pretty healthy because nobody wants a kid vomiting slushy in the back. You
Spot
know,
on.
like that's just
Not a good
nobody
day.
likes that.
Right. Yeah, true. And mango chips. You introduced me to mango chips during
Oh, so
mango,
good.
Mango chips are great.
Yeah.
Okay. What items are essential for kids when you're going on an RV trip? What do you have to have with you? Keith and Tia, I'm going to start with you guys.
I think for us, there's lots of items, but the most important thing is we allow, and Tia spearheaded this, allowing the boys to bring 1 or 2 items that they love from home.
Okay.
Because that makes that RV that home away from home. My oldest son loves to bring his blanket from his bed. She mentioned Legos before. The 2 younger boys love these stuffed animals. They may have 30 stuffed animals in their room. We don't let them bring 30.
Right.
She'll say, pick out 4 or 5. So when we're driving, they have that comfort with them. After that, everything else is easy. And of course, they want their electronics, their laptops and iPads, because we do make them learn a little bit while we're on the road. But
Sure.
definitely something of their own that they get to pick out from their rooms to bring with them. And they cherish that.
Right on. Bryce and Nelly?
Wagon. We have an all-terrain wagon. It folds down and collapses. With these two at their age, I guess, and he's now offset, but they love going outside, and it just calms them down. They fall asleep in it half the time, and it's a good terrain one. Like there's little ones that are really struggle to pull. You know, this
Right.
one's so easy, and we just go on a walk and talk, and they chill out. And then something that encourages them to be active. Like she has a little bike that's 3 wheels, and she'll go hard on that, wear out her energy. And then what were you saying?
I think that's a key one too, wearing out the energy. Yeah, something's going to wear them out.
Hiking pack.
Hiking
Throw those
pack.
babies on your
Okay.
back and go anywhere, and they love it. They're in heaven when they're on our backs.
Yes.
They can be there all day.
Which when you get one that has like footholds in it, because there's a lot that their feet just kind of hang and they can't sit there very long. But there's like foot stirrups that they can stand with their feet, and they last longer. They're happier.
That's beautiful. Dan and Lindsay, y'all taking notes on some of that? Yeah, I saw you grab the mic because I know you got one too.
I was going to
Yeah.
say the carrying pack so that baby can walk around with us in the campground. The wagon we just discovered like last weekend because we have so much stuff. But my nieces and nephews just bring, my sisters bring whatever that will keep them outdoors. You know, like they get to bring a few little trinkety toys and action figures and stuff, but soccer balls and their bikes and shovels, rafts,
Yeah.
anything that keeps them outdoors.
Anything that'll keep them outdoors. I love that. Dan, you want to add anything? You got anything?
This is, I guess I wouldn't call this a necessity, but it sure is a nice convenience, and it applies to our RV as well. We have it's called the Baby Brezza, you know, where we do formula. So this thing makes a bottle for your child in like 30 seconds. The warm is, it's like a Keurig coffee maker for formula.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It's awesome.
And what's it called again?
It's called a Baby Brezza, and it's amazing.
Oh, I'm loving it. Look, Nelly, I just saw you light up. What? Let me get one of those.
Yeah.
I know. I didn't know about this.
Yeah, so that's why we don't boondock anymore, so we can have that thing plugged in. No,
I love it. Yeah. All right. So when you have the kids on the road, obviously games and activities are a big part of it. You're going to have camps. You're going to have stuff to do, hiking trails, water, the whole nine. But what games have you guys found that kids like to play while they're out on the road? Bryce and Elle, do you guys have like any games maybe you've created or picked up along the way that folks may or may not know about?
She'll watch us play games, and then she'll just want to imitate the same thing.
Okay.
So we just let that happen. We have a deck of cards that can get folded, increased, and destroyed. You know?
Right. You got to.
Yeah, we'll play beats and then just make up words to songs. She loves doing that. We do impromptu dance parties all the time. And then right now she's into matching games. So we're flipping it over and finding the match, and she'll do that for a while.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. Okay. Keith,
we're excited for when we can do some more intelligent, you have to think, and strategy games with them.
Right. All right, Keith and Tia.
Well, I think when we're outside, they enjoy cornhole. We usually bring that with us. We forgot it this time. But when they're indoors, maybe it's a rainy day, you've got to have something for them to do on those days when they can't go outside. So we have a game cabinet that we have board games, and they love Monopoly, believe it or not. So we have Monopoly at home. We've got probably 5 different Monopoly games. Not counting your unopened collector's items.
Oh, okay.
We are a Monopoly family, and we will have that Monopoly board out for like 2 or 3 days, just going at it.
So who's the banker when you're playing Monopoly?
Me. Because everybody else cheats.
Yes, exactly. So wait a minute. Yeah, now which unopened Monopolies do we not take on the road? I need to know this.
Some original Star Wars Monopoly. I actually have some Miami Dolphin Monopolies. I opened one of them, which I'm blessed to be in it.
Right.
Place. So
nice. That's
so that
beautiful.
was good. That's just a keep for the kids. I've got copies for them. So besides the Star Wars and that, everything else is open.
Man, that's beautiful. All right, now Dan and Lindsay, you guys are really active too. What game's your favorite to play when you're on the road?
So every time we go camping with our whole family, there's scavenger hunts. And so you can go online and print off a whole list of what everyone has to find. And then it's like timed and everyone's motivated and running around outside and finding pine cones and sticks and all sorts of fun stuff. So it's an active, fun game, and you don't have to bring anything because you just search around.
You can just use the area around you to create the scavenger hunt. Yeah, absolutely. That's beautiful. Does anybody take chalk?
Yes, yes,
How could you
actually.
forget the chalk?
Yeah, and then we have a tablecloth you can draw on.
Yes.
So in every campsite, you got somewhere they can draw with the chalk. So
Our boys love drawing on the campsite. If it's concrete, they're drawing on it all the time. They love it. Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Now,
I'd say
look
it's
at
a
our
great
campsite
activity
now.
to keep them entertained. Absolutely. Do you guys bring bikes on the road at all for the boys? Keith and Tia.
We do. We try to. We actually left them down in Florida, so they've been complaining. You didn't bring my bike, Dad. So we have scooters, human-powered scooters. Haven't transferred yet to motorized yet.
Right.
But yes, we try to bring bikes and scooters because they love being out. That's why we love campgrounds that have paved roads, so they can just go.
So somebody asked too, is it essential to bring anything like a tent or a canopy because it takes up so much space in the storage compartment, or can we just leave it at home? That's kind of an odd question, but I thought, you know what? that might be something you want to bring with you. You know, Lindsay, you're
Depends on
shaking
where
your head.
you're going. If you're going to be at a lake and you want to have like a day area, you know, you definitely want shade. We do that and post up for the whole day. And
We just actually got one of the clam shell
Those
things.
clamshells,
have
yes.
the netting around the outside, just because sometimes in order to be outside, you need to be protected from the bugs. Sometimes there's just too many out there, you know, too many mosquitoes. So we find that that's a great spot that we can be and still be enjoying outside, but also, you know, in the shade and, you know, just pleasant. So that we really like that. So I would say if you have it, I would bring it personally.
Bryce and Nelly, do you guys use a tent at all whenever you guys go camping? Not camping tent, but like canopy.
No, our awnings.
Yeah.
That we use those a lot. They actually, they make a big difference. But you're right. Whenever you're going to a spot that's away from your RV, I think it can be a good idea. We do have a tent, but we don't use it much.
Right.
The only time we'll obviously use the awnings in our RV. The only time we'll bring something is when we're going to the beach. And then we want something, some shade while you're in the sand. Then we'll bring that cover.
I remember one of our RV neighbors, right? The RV community is so open and friendly. And this guy he's got some New York Times bestsellers, and he had a separate awning tent that was kind of his office. And he would sit there, and it was like, okay, that's where Dad's writing a book right now or doing some work. And I thought that was cool. They post up for a while there, so if you're gonna stay for a while too, it could be nice.
Yeah. So, what are the kids' favorite part of the RV? What is Avi's favorite part of the RV?
Yeah, she's looking at an ant that bit her earlier. We're out at a campsite here. Favorite part of the RV, she loves the loft. So in our toy hauler, we have the living room, kitchen, and then there's a loft above. And then the deck. We usually will just put that down, put down some play mats.
And our bed. Our bed.
Yeah, we put in a really nice bed in our room, and so she loves chilling and sleeping, napping on there.
Yep. Keith and Tia?
I would have to go with the refrigerator because those boys are constantly hungry, constantly going in and out of the refrigerator. We'll say goodnight. We'll close our door, and all of a sudden we hear the refrigerator door open. We're like, what are you doing? It's time for bed. So they love the entire RV. They like to wrestle on the pull-out couch and that kind of thing. Mom always yells at them, but sometimes I dive in there too.
Right. Now look, we talked about that at home too. You don't want the boys bouncing on stuff. It's a bad trait. Get them bouncing on stuff in the RV.
They pull me on it. What can I do? You know, they're the three boys against me. That's a tough battle.
Yeah, no, you got.
I still can take them right now, though. I still can take them.
Yeah, for now.
For now.
KJ's getting big and fast, man.
Yes, he is.
It's coming. All right, Dan and Lindsay. I mean, obviously Miles being an infant, but he is probably already, because you guys have been on so many trips with him. There's got to be an area of the RV he likes more than the others.
he loves his little changing table area because there's a window and he can look out there, and there's shelves. So we have little hanging like stroller toys that he can kind of play with. And then he loves the out area when we have a campfire. He's mesmerized by the campfire. So
That's actually a really nice little thing to do with the baby. Yeah, the campfire because of the light. Yeah. Nelly, I see you smiling over there.
Oh, I'm just laughing. My kids are just a wreck on this part of the panel.
What are you talking about?
Everyone got bit by an ant. I'm just laughing.
It's kids.
But it's just the age. Your baby's like, sleep and calm. Your kids are older, and my kids just want to be by mom and dad. So,
right.
But it's all part of the fun, right?
Yes, it is. And you had mentioned your own mattress. One of the questions was,
yeah.
is it important to get your own mattress, or the mattress is okay?
Really?
I mean,
they laughing over here.
yeah,
Let's
Keith.
hear it.
I heard that guffaw a little bit.
We're not full time,
Right.
but we definitely our mattress that came with our motorhome is still wrapped in the plastic in our basement.
Okay.
Please get your own mattress. I've had back surgery. If you're going to spend any time in there, and this is no disrespect to the RV manufacturers, because it's impossible. What we like is different what they like.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Get your mattress, because a good night's sleep at the campground is so important. It's worth it. It's priceless.
We took our queen out and we stuck our king in. We don't have as much room in our bedroom, but we do not care because we love our bed. It's like, especially as a parent, right? You're just like, end of the day, you're going to your room, your kids are asleep, and you're like, oh, my bed.
Yeah, when we've stayed at friends' places, they're like, "You guys can come in and have a room." We're like, "No, we got we love our bed. We're good."
Yeah.
Like,
well, see,
seriously.
that's the great thing about Camping World, Gander. We sell people a lot of times forget we sell mattresses. We have
That's right, and they're
Tempur-Pedic.
good.
Yeah. No, the comfort zones, they're out of this world comfortable, and the manufacturers are beginning to put a lot of like high density foam mattresses in there that are very comfortable. But to each his own. And if you really want to enjoy it, that's one of the things I always say. If you can, try to get your own mattress. If you're going to spend a lot of time, get one for the kids as well.
Yeah, and we actually do use the RV mattress in ours, but we added, I think it's maybe 2 or 3 inches.
Yeah.
The topper. You know, for our purpose, that worked out pretty well. You know, we had to, with a turkey carver.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Great.
That's beautiful.
It's pretty crafty, actually, and it worked really well. Lindsay was
just in there with a hot knife, just going to town. I love it.
Yeah. But yeah, you definitely want to make sure that you're comfortable. Otherwise, what's the point? You know?
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So, guys, thank you so much for giving us this knowledge, spending time with us today, bringing the kids. If you can, give me one last tip for traveling with kids that you would tell somebody, that you would tell your friends. Dan and Lindsay, follow your detour. Start us off.
I would say, I mean, we just have an infant, and I think the first thing is I would just tell them that it's possible. I think a lot of people are afraid. They have a notion that you need all this stuff for your infant. I mean, I know in our house we have so many, different bouncers and boppies and this and that, and we don't have that stuff in the RV, and so far so good. So I would just say it's possible and go for it.
Right on. Bryce and Nelly, the Jergies.
Yeah, go for it. Go try it out. Just everyone that we talked to is like, yeah, we tried it out. You'll end up getting one, and it'll be a great thing. Like,
yes.
We were gonna do just one little trip, and it makes so many memories easier to happen. It really does. So
that's awesome. Keith and Tia, Soulful RV Family, hit me.
I think what stands out in my mind most is when we are talking to older couples and they are recounting their memories of traveling with their kids.
Mm-hmm.
And even, one of our panelists up here recounted a memory that he had with his family.
Yeah.
So it's magical. It's something that your children will always have and you will always have. And the older couples that we've met have always just said, we're regretful that we didn't start it out sooner.
Yep, exactly. Well, gang, thank you so much. Keith and Tia, Soulful RV Family, Bryce and Nelly, the Jergies, Dan and Lindsay, follow your detour. Thank you so much for spending time with us, giving us some tips that are hopefully, if you're brand new to RVing and you want to know how to get your kids involved, hopefully you found this helpful. Now, if I remember right, the Ultimate Outdoor Olympics will be starting very soon. So contestants, you got a showcase coming up that you might need to go get ready for. But the Ultimate Land, Water, and RV is all about the fun and enjoying the experience of the outdoors, and we'll have more next.
Hi, we're the Hambricks.
My name is Kennedy. Jordan.
I'm Monet.
I'm James.
And we're going to share how RV camping has unlocked our family travel dreams. Kennedy is the boss lady, as we call her, because she's always telling all of us what to do. And Jordan is our adventure junkie. Anything high in the sky, that's all her. So for us, family travel is just having uninterrupted family time. We're really just enjoying one another, discovering new things. One thing that RVing and camping will teach you when it comes to family travel is definitely patience with setting everything up and just being in such a close quarters all the time. I need help, please.
It really teaches you how to work together as a family. Making lunch is easy. We can quickly make sandwiches and snacks whenever the kids get hungry. The RV is the perfect mobile kitchen.
When you go like it,
How many strawberries you want?
maybe 5 and 5 and 5. Who's able to lunch? Me!
Right? So are we gonna go live on that island back there?
No.
Why not? You don't want to take a boat to school?
A unicorn.
So you rather ride a unicorn or a boat to school?
Unicorn. Sun! Bye, sun.
Camping allows us to slow down while still having a great time.
What are you gonna do?
We love doing campfires in the evenings, making s'mores, and just relaxing.
That's filtered. Cheers!
We love to be silly and have fun, and the RV gives us a built-in dance floor. It gives a sense of home base no matter where you are.
Good night, Daddy.
We can put the kids to bed, come outside, enjoy a glass of wine, and reconnect after a long day, which is something we're not able to do at a hotel. It has really just sparked an amazing love for us, a different way for us to travel that we really enjoy.
Gander RV and Outdoors wants to help you and your family have an unforgettable camping season. No matter where you want to go this year, we have the RVs and camping gear and outdoor gear you need for any trip. Choose from our massive selection of camp chairs, portable grills, fishing equipment, hunting gear, outdoor clothing, tents, and so much more. This year, shop with the retailer that really knows what all kinds of campers need for their trips. Click, call, or visit your local Gander RV and Outdoors today.
Welcome back to the Ultimate Land, Water, and RV Show. Wow, he caught me on that one, didn't he, Dan?
He did.
I got my friends Dan and Lindsay from Follow Your Detour. Guys, thank you for joining me up there for the panel. But, you know, my buddy Ian, who's out there working hard, and what we wanted to do with the Ultimate Land, Water, and RV Show was show you everything encompassing the experience of the outdoors, as well as product debuts. Do you remember the first time you saw your first RV?
Yeah.
Yeah? How was it? How beautiful was it? What was the feeling like?
Oh my gosh. There's just something when you go through so many units and then you find the one. It's
Right.
like house shopping.
Yes.
It just hits you. It's just a feeling you can't describe.
Yeah, we actually didn't want to purchase the one that we ended up purchasing. It wasn't even on our radar, but it came to us. We saw it, and like she said, we knew it was the one. And it was
Well, you know
done
what?
deal.
I think for some families out there, Ian has the one with this product debut. Welcome to the Gulfstream Enlighten 19BH. Big Dog, take it away.
If you're looking for a lightweight camper and you want something to haul the family, folks, this one is phenomenal. You have the big double over double bunks. We'll take a look at those in a second because you know that the kids want a little bit of larger space. But the best thing about this one, being a single axle, that 3,700 pound mark, you still have over 1,300 pounds of carrying capacity. So it's a little over a 5,000 pound GVWR. Folks, 1,300 pounds you can pack in this thing is amazing. So this is built for that person that has a tow vehicle with 5,000 or more pounds, right? If you have like that kind of mid-size SUV, this one is just for you. Couple quick features, things I love about this. One of them right away is just the colors you have in here. I think they did a good job on the cabinetry, you know, kind of in between. It's almost like a silver. I really like what they've done. Nice bright wallboard in here as well. Windows to let in some of the natural light. And they did a good job kind of having two-tone on the fabrics here throughout. We take a seat in the dinette. This is a campside dinette. Ian, why do you love a campside dinette? Well, let me tell you. Main reason is because this is where I'm gonna have my breakfast, my morning cup of coffee, and this is the view that I want, right? Out to my campsite. I don't wanna have to look out at my neighbors, unless I know my neighbors, maybe then, but otherwise it's just weird. I wanna be able to look out to my campsite, see what's going on there, right? And be able to see, you know, everyone sitting around the campfire, whatever else it may be. But I love having the campsite dinette. And this does drop down into a bed as well. So if you need, you know, quick sleeping space, this right here will become a bed. And it's a decent sized bed. For a 6-foot person, you're gonna have to curl up a little bit. But again, as an adult, if you curl up, you can actually sleep here, which is great. I also really like this, and I tell people this a lot. If you have little ones, if you have kids and they sleep in a pack and play, and obviously, if they're not able to crawl out of it. If they're able to crawl out of it, please don't do this. But if they're not crawling out of it, you can drop this down, just remove all the cushions, and you can put your pack and play right on top of this dinette. And what that'll do is it gets it out of the main walkway, right? And so you have a spot for the kids to sleep out of the main walkway. Great for naps. Just shut the shade down so you're not letting light in. Phenomenal move. As I mentioned, storage right up top, that is pretty, kind of has like that silver, as I mentioned, kind of right in there. I do like that. I think it goes really well with, well, I would call grayish wood, right? It's kind of like a grayish brown, but it is nice and airy. Speaking of airy, if we take a look at the ceiling, you have a vent right there. Love that. Open up some windows, open that guy up, get some good cross ventilation. That's probably what you're gonna do if you don't have shore power, right? Because you know you're not able to turn on the AC. If you do have shore power, Look at that, folks. Even though this is a smaller RV, this one has your 13.5 BTU AC in there. I think it's 13.5, might be 11. I'll have to double check. Either way, it could be an 8,000 BTU AC and it would still do enough to cool off this camper. So I love having the ceiling mounts on there. And again, you open up those vents and it'll cool it off in here in no time. For entertainment, you want to watch some TV? Boom, that is where your TV will go. You already have a backer there. You'll also see these cables, and those are tied into the multimedia center right here. So, if you want to watch a movie or something like that, you can. It has an HDMI port on there. It is Bluetooth capable, by the way. You can see, currently it is unpaired, but this will control the speakers in here as well as outside. I love the fact this one has outside speakers at this price point. It's one of those things that a lot of times they eliminate, but this one does have them, which is pretty wonderful. For furnace, this will be your thermostat. This will only run the furnace. The thermostat for the AC will be on the AC unit itself, but just know that this one does have a dedicated furnace for it, so nice and easy to activate that. Another thing I wanna hit on before we move on past it is the dinette real quick again for two things. One, underneath, you have both an electrical outlet as well as a USB port down there. So if you have to plug in laptop, tablet, cell phone, whatever it may be, you can do that right here at the dinette, which I love. The other one is storage. So if I remove these cushions, you can see that they have good storage. Now this will have a little bit of the wheel well there. The other side will not. But I love that they move the components elsewhere so that you have all this storage right here under the dinette. Pretty great. Speaking of great space, this right here is it. This is why you get it, right? We have double bunks. Folks, I'm 6 foot tall, over 200 pounds. I mean, I can put my head all the way up here and look, I still have space at my feet, right? Or vice versa. If I scoot down a little, I got good space up here at my head. That is something that oftentimes, you just don't get, right? It'll be a little bit smaller bunks. I love having the double in there just for that reason, because, well, yeah, it's great for kids. It's also good for adults, right? As the kids start to grow older, let's say, you buy this, the kids are teenagers, you think they're going to go camping with you all the time, and then suddenly mom and dad aren't cool anymore, which it's never going to happen because I'm a cool parent, right? Yeah, that's what we all say. But eventually, right, the kids want to move on. They want to do their own things. They get their driver's license. They're out hanging out with friends. And now you're like, oh, man, I have these bunks and I can't use them. But that's not true, because you can take it on a fishing trip or hunting trip, or, if you want to take a weekend with friends, you want to go out to the bar and you need a place for everyone to crash, right? You can do that. You want to go camping with another couple, you have the ability to do that because you can sleep adults in here. I personally really like that. You'll also have window top and bottom, lights top and bottom, so it's nice and bright in here. There isn't any storage, but there is access to your compartments underneath. You can see right here is a sticker. It says not a storage compartment, because sometimes manufacturers will put it in there, but what you lose is the storage under the dinette, right? The components will be under the dinette instead of under the bunk. Probably one of the coolest things about this one, and this may seem very minor to you, but if you've been RV searching, you will understand. We'll be right here in the bathroom. Come on in with me. What you will notice, first off, is the toilet, and I have plenty of space, right? Both for legs and shoulders. Now, my toes do hit, but what I always like to tell people is you can put your feet right up here, and you have a built-in squatty potty, folks. They say by lifting your feet up a little, it's supposed to help get things out. So give it a shot. Works for me. But realistically, right, I do still have really good space. The thing that I say I love and that's really most impressive is this right here. It is so hard to find an RV in this weight range, your single axle, under that 4,000 pound mark, that has a sink in the bathroom. It is extremely rare. Most of the time, you'll have to use the sink in the kitchen, which for a lot of people is fine, but there's others that want to wash their hands in here. They want to brush their teeth in the bathroom, not in the kitchen sink. So for those of you that are looking for that lighter weight camper that has a bathroom in the sink, the Enlighten 19BH is the one. You'll also see right up top there, you have a mirrored medicine cabinet and Tub shower. I like having a tub in this camper for a couple of reasons. One, if you have a kiddo, you can actually give them a bath, which I like. The other one is that because it has a taller wall, right, a bigger threshold, the shower curtain here is actually going to stay in the tub itself. It's not going to be flailing all over the place, not going to get water all over. Also, I'm 6 foot tall. I can fully stand up in this shower. That's another big one on single axles. A lot of time you cannot do. You will see the hand wand right here makes it nice and easy to shower up. And as I take a step out, come out of the bathroom, we'll look at the kitchen. Great job on the kitchen as well, by the way. They did a really good job on this camper overall. You see your 12 volt, or sorry, not 12 volt, I take that back. Propane electric gas fridge here, right? Gas electric fridge. So this one will run off of propane as well as 120, not 12 volts, propane or 120. But it does run off both of those power sources. So you do have some options there. You also see the kitchen, the countertop. I love what they have done. Nice big countertop space here. They give you a double bowl sink. And a lot of times, again, in these single axles, you don't get that. It'll just be a single bowl. So I love that you get a little more kitchen space or kitchen sink space, high-rise faucet, 2-burner cooktop. They turn that sideways so that you have a little bit of prep space right here, as well as a spot for a coffee maker. Because oftentimes in a smaller RV like this, there's just not enough kitchen countertop space for a coffee maker. And I personally have to have my coffee when I'm camping. So I like that they put that in there. Microwave right up top, some additional storage space there, as well as storage right down below. A couple of drawers. You have to have at least one drawer to have a functional kitchen. So you have a spot for your flatware. You'll see they give you 2. And then you'll also notice the direct vent furnace right there. Now, if you flip around here, this will be the last thing I want to show you. And this, folks, is kind of a make it or break it moment for a lot of people, and that's the Murphy bed. So let me sneak right over here. I'll make up the Murphy bed and just kind of show you. And again, I personally like a Murphy bed for this reason, right? We saw where the TV was. If I sit right here, I now have a straight shot to the TV. I have another place to sit besides the dinette. Yeah, you know, sitting in the dinette is fine, but I want some extra seating, you know, especially if the kids are in here too. And so this provides enough seating. The whole family can be in here and no one has to sit on the bed because that can kind of be uncomfortable. So I really like having this sofa here. Now, with a Murphy bed, you still get good storage underneath. You can see that right there, you know, lift it up, plenty of storage there. Drop this guy down just like so. I will undo these latches on both sides. This is how you make the Murphy bed up, right? We'll pull here. Drop this part down, grab our mattress. Now this one is a split mattress. You can see there's a little bit of a split right there. And then we'll lower that down there, climb on top here, and do the same thing right up top. And so that will be essentially our bed. And then throw a sheet on top, throw a blanket on it, and boom, there you have your sleeping space. So I really like having the Murphy bed for that option. Obviously, I need to fix it a little bit on the far side there. But again, I like having the Murphy bed. I like the extra seating that it brings with it. You will also see right here, you have some additional storage. And then some storage underneath, as well as all that storage we had underneath the sofa. So plenty of storage here. Good window space on the one side. USB ports up here, so if you have to charge cell phones, you can plug them in right there, toss them up here to charge, and you're good to go. The control panel will be located on this wall. I just want to show you this real quick before we head out. You will see, you know, the water heater, the pump, the lights, and everything, so you're good to go there. You also have the power awning. So let's head outside. We'll take a quick look at some of the features out there. So as we take a step out, pretty basic out here, right? Not too many crazy features. You'll see your 20-pound tank right up front, diamond plating there, power awning as well, which that's a pretty big feature to have on here, especially for the price point. Touch a button to roll that out. Same thing to go right back in. Larger grab handle, which I really do love, as well as those outside speakers we talked about, which again is pretty rare on a camper this size. You can also see your electric outlet there in case you need to plug anything in. And then right back here is some extra outside storage. So while we don't have storage up front, you do get this storage compartment right back here to help make up for it. Last but not least, folks, on the bumper is our spare tire, so it is super easy to access. Again, this is the Enlighten 19BH. If you're a family looking for something that's lightweight, single axle, easy to tow, this right here is the one. 19BH. If you're
I love you.
Love you too, Papa.
Hey, honey, look what I got. A triggerfish.
Don't settle for the trips you've always taken. There's a different way to travel. And RVing is the way to go.
Take a look at this. So cool. We're here!
You can see new things. Travel to new places. Seek new adventures. It's moving! All without leaving home behind.
You're so fun.
I know.
Travel different with Camping World.
Welcome back to the ultimate land, water, and RV show. What's up? It's Chris Young. As you saw yesterday, the Outdoor Olympics kicked off with the ultimate kayak race, and what a competition we had. Well, we are now back here at the end of day 3 to continue that 4-day stretch of Olympics. I got my buddy, the big dog, Ian Baker, joining me today.
Yes, sir.
And Ian, we have a fun one planned. We got the ultimate outdoor showdown. Let me tell you, this is going to be fun because you've seen the setups.
Oh, they're great, Chris. I've seen all of them. Land, water, RV. They're beautiful. There's some little hidden challenges in there, so I'll be very curious to see what you guys are able to pull out. You'll definitely have to make sure you're watching carefully.
Right. So here's the standings as we see it currently. Team Camping World, the Jergies, you guys got 4,000 points in the bank. Very nice total to start off with here. Oh, come on now, Dan. You can't be throwing the thumbs down. Dan and Lindsay, follow your detour with Team Gander. You guys are sitting at 3,000 points. Team Good Sam, 2 traveling dogs, Rachel and Nate, 2,000 points. And Team Overton's Soulful RV family, Keith and Tia, 1,000 points. But you know what? Each one of these showdowns, one for land, one for water, one for RV, guess what? Each one is worth 2,000 points. So if you get the closest to the grand total of each one of these setups, you could get a chance of walking away with 6,000 points just from today's competition. Does that make you excited? Are you ready to see what's going on? So here's what we're going to do. You got 47 seconds to see the campsites that are going to be on the screen. Land is going to be coming up first. Now, you're going to have to take a look and see everything that's in that campsite and calculate the total of everything that you see. Do you have it? Are you ready? Big dog, are you ready?
I'm pumped, buddy. Let's
I got to tell you what. It's the Ultimate Outdoor Showdown, the Ultimate Outdoor Olympics at the Ultimate Land, Water, and RV Show. Let's get it started in 3, 2, and 1. Here we go with the land setup. Oh, Ian, you know these.
I do, yes. So you will see in the back, that is an 8-person tent to give you an idea of size. Right up front, Chris, those are going to be electric bikes, buddy. Those go up to 20 miles an hour.
Those are some nice e-bikes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and there's 2 of them.
Oh, big batteries, too. Over 50 miles an hour. Yes, there are 2 of them there. Excellent chairs, very comfortable. Sit up a little bit higher. They have the table on the side.
Is that a solar briefcase?
It is.
Oh, did you guys get it? It's coming up. Here we go. Last chance to see it.
There it is. As Chris said, that is a solar briefcase tucked behind there, buddy. Nice portable system right there.
This is the land setup at the Ultimate Outdoor Showdown.
Let's not forget, it's all sitting on something, guys. We got to add that in.
That's right. You got to calculate that in.
The grill over to the side, the Traveler.
I would love to have that e-bike there, that G-Track Sport. That looks like such a great ride. All right, contestants, that is it for the land portion here at the Ultimate Outdoor Showdown. Now, are you ready? You got 10 seconds to write your final price. On your mark, get set, go. You got 10 seconds.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Write it down. Markers down.
Markers down.
Okay,
you absolutely can. I mean, she turns over in like 11 font. I was like, what is that, Times New Roman? Comic Sans. You're the only person that writes in Comic Sans, Nelly.
It's impressive.
It's beautiful. It is actually impressive. Okay, now, everybody turn your prices over and let's see them.
What do we got?
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
Good variation.
Wow.
All right.
Ian,
all right.
we got a big variance.
There is. We have a range.
We have a range of $3,200 all the way up to $13,500. Wow.
So, all right. All right.
Yeah, now remember, it's the closest to the grand total of everything that you saw in that setup at the land portion. There were 2 e-bikes in there.
Yep.
There was a tent, an 8-person tent. There were chairs.
So, Keith, Tia, tell me, you guys were at 13.5. You look a little high to what everyone else has, and that's not a bad thing. Tell me, what was it that you guys saw in there that made you think it might be a little more?
We're sure about those e-bikes.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're nice.
All right, well, Big Dog, you know the grand total.
I do.
So what is the grand total of the land portion of the Ultimate Outdoor Showdown?
For the land portion of the Ultimate Outdoor Showdown, the total is $3,308.
Oh, that means follow your detour. You guys just won the first. Oh. Let me tell you, I had no clue. I'm with Keith. I thought that those e-bikes were so much more, but that's what you get with the Ultimate Land, Water, and RV Show. Hey, man.
For the record, those are amazing bikes. If you haven't seen them, they are a great price.
And once again, all the prices are MSRP. Those are MSRP prices, retail prices. So, some surprises already here in the first round of the Ultimate Outdoor Showdown. We'll be right back with Showcase number 2.
Alaska.
Hi, my name is Russell Winfield, former professional snowboarder from Seattle, Washington. I was the first black African-American pro snowboarder ever. And the thing about being the first is that you don't have anybody before you that can help you. But now, what I'm doing, I'm trying to help younger kids. I can give them my experience.
Hey, what's going on, man? How are you?
So yeah, let's go check this thing out. I have brought along one of my best friends, Leif Jones, and the princess herself, Caitlin Farrington. So this trip is the quintessential Northwest spring road trip.
All right, guys, here we are. Good old Heart Coffee.
The RV, it allows you to get to know people in close proximity. And you can go to cool places. You can have conversations on the road trip.
Shred ready.
Shred ready. It just builds memory, good memories. And that's important.
Now that we've been caffeinated, we're going to get to the shred. The shred is important. It's good up here, people. Let's get it. Woo! Well, looks like we made it. Mount Bachelor.
Yeah, let's put you guys in comfort mode.
I feel like these things are magical. It's like a magic carpet. You get in this thing and you kind of shut everything else outside world away.
Who's ready for some coffee?
Love some.
You get to just focus on relationships with your friends and yourself. It's pretty cool.
Been riding the best mountains ever.
Trips like this are super important because snowboarding became popular because of the culture around it.
Hey, let's kill it.
You get done with a trip with your buds, an RV, and you're just closer to each other. And you've got crazy memories that aren't ever gonna leave.
Woo!
And that's what I call for the win.
And we are back with the Ultimate Land, Water, and RV Show. Chris Young, Ian Baker here at the Ultimate Outdoor Showdown, and we are ready for Showdown number 2.
Yes.
Now, Follow Your Detour took home 2,000 points with Showdown number 1, the land portion. But water is up next, and once again, all of these prices are the retail prices. So whoever's going to get closest to these will be the winner of the next 2,000 points. Everybody ready? All my teams are ready to go. Okay, then on the count of 3, we're going to show you the water showdown setup. Who's going to win? We'll find out in 3, 2, 1. Let's see it. Oh, there we go. Look at all those floats, Ian.
Look at that. You have a little ski trainer there as well, right in front of one of the towables.
Yeah, that Gladiator
kind of blends
ski
in.
trainer's nice. You got the kayaks.
In the background, Chris, right behind the kayaks, that's the Nautica inflatable island. That thing is super fun.
Yes, holds up to 1,000 pounds on it. You got the Nautica chairs, the Nautica tent, that canopy keeps the bugs out. That's great at the beach.
Screened in.
Oh, you only got
Here we
47
go.
seconds. The question
One more
is,
pass.
did you see the Napalo boat in the background? Once again, this is the water portion. Ian, we got kayaks,
up
we got
front.
boogie boards, we got towables, we got life jackets.
That's a 5-pack, Chris.
Oh,
4-pack?
5-pack of the Nautica life jackets?
5-pack.
I'm loving that.
You have a few towables. There are some laying down. They're a little tough to see.
This one's a lot tougher than the
it
land
is.
portion. There's a lot there.
And a lot of the colors.
All right, contestants, that's it. That's all you got. Now I'm going to give you 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
To write down your final price for the water portion here at the Ultimate Outdoor Showdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Markers down.
What is that? Is that Greek symbols? Okay. All right, so contestants, show us your prices. 23,000, 50,000, 125.
Okay.
30,000, 22,500.
We have some pretty close ones. Looks like we got one that's a little higher. All right. We're going from what? We're going from 22.5 to 50. That is
Ian,
a nice boat.
I gotta say, this is
It is a beautiful boat.
You know, this is a little bit tighter.
Yes.
That Napalo boat, I think, is gonna throw everybody off.
I think so.
As is that canopy tent.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have any.
Well, you need a few more zeros after it for those.
All right. Well, Big Dog, you see the total prices there.
I
You
do.
know the total for the water portion here at the Ultimate Outdoor Showdown.
Mm-hmm.
What's our grand total of everything we just saw?
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
The grand total for the water setup in the Ultimate Outdoor Showdown is $27,757.26.
Oh, that means 2 traveling dogs! Yes! Whoa, you got it! You came in so close. Well, after Mary and Rachel, yeah, absolutely. Congratulations, you just picked up $2,000 with the water portion of the Ultimate Outdoor Showdown. And you know what's great about this, Ian?
Mm-hmm.
People don't know this, but those brand new Napalo boats.
Yes, sir.
The best entry-level pontoon boat you're going to find.
By far.
Allure furniture.
Oh.
Single-piece keels.
Larger tunes.
Larger tunes, serviceable tunes.
Yep.
Starting at $24,995.
Chris, I'm telling you, that's a steal. That Suzuki motor, I was out there earlier.
Yes.
You can hardly hear it. It
Whisper
whispers.
quiet. Whisper
Love it.
quiet. So, congratulations to Traveling Dogs. You just picked up 2,000 points, but have no fear. Keith and T, I'm pulling for you. We got one more showdown coming here at the Ultimate Outdoor Showdown, and this one is going to be all about something you know very well, the RV. And we'll see what it is next.
We're Wade and Abby. We love camping because it gets us outside, and this is our playground. This is where we adventure, this is where we find inspiration, and this is what we love to do. It's a lifestyle for us.
We're here! In, honey?
We're out here in the beautiful Arizona desert getting off the beaten path.
So here's some of our best tips and tricks for off-grid camping. Off-grid camping means you're gonna wanna have all your essentials and necessities with you because you're not gonna have your amenities close by.
So you can never have too much water in the desert. Always make sure to top off the water supply before you hit the road.
Now you may not have cell reception when you're out here, so that means you're gonna wanna have some analog mapping. Bring an atlas in the RV or even just download a digital map right to your phone. Oh, check this out.
Make sure to fill up on gas before you head out and bring an extra gas can just in case.
And you want to make sure you camp in areas where you can go play outside and do the things you love to do.
Whoa! Yeah! Woo!
Sunscreen's important anytime you're outside, but especially out here in the desert. So don't forget to use a high SPF and reapply often.
Always make sure to bring the tools to swap out a flat tire and make sure your spare tire's in great shape. In case of emergency, it's important to have a satellite communication device, especially when you're off-grid camping. Waterproof matches or a lighter are a must when you're out here to start a fire because when the sun goes down, it gets chilly.
As a professional makeup artist, camping allows me to get out into nature and always re-inspires my creativity.
It's the epicenter for adventure, and this here is a perfect base camp. Whoa!
Oh, rookie.
Hey.
Rookie mistake. Camping in an RV allows us to get out and experience something new and different on every trip.
We're super stoked for the next adventure.
How amazing is that?
Wow, it looks really good.
And welcome back to the Ultimate Land, Water, and RV Show. We are here at the Ultimate Outdoor Showdown. We just saw the first two showdowns. First one went to follow your detour, 2,000 points there. Second one, picking up the rear with the water. There we go, 2 traveling dogs. And you know what? If you got a chance to see the last segment, you saw that beautiful Napalo boat. That is what everyone is playing for here during the Ultimate Outdoor Olympics. Follow your favorite team, whether it's Team Camper World, Team Gander, Team Good Sam, or Team Overton's. Who's going to win? Who's going to get a chance to give you that Napalo boat? Only time will decide. But right now, Big Dog.
Yes, sir.
It is time for the RV portion of the Ultimate Outdoor Showdown. Everybody knows about the RVs. Come on now. So are you ready? Well, we're just going to get right to it. In 3, 2, 1, roll that beautiful bean footage.
There we go.
There it is. Oh, now, Big Dog, what type of RV is
Pioneer.
that? Okay.
Chris, I think that's the new BH322. That is an excellent bunkhouse floor plan.
That is nice.
So 35 foot, you got quad bunks in the back, nice big door.
Got an enclosed underbelly on that
Yes,
one, too.
that's a
Got that.
great RV.
Yeah. Oh, what all do we have at the campsite there?
Looks like you have, those are super comfortable. Those are one of your favorite chairs, isn't it, Chris?
Is that the padded club chair?
You know it is.
The glare on the screen's kind of getting me a little bit. Oh, remember, guys, it's only 47 seconds of seeing this. For you to pick that price.
Oh, yeah.
Who's going to get the closest?
Oh, man, I love that cooler.
Who's going to get the 2,000 points?
Got the campfire. Don't forget little table off to the side, guys.
Oh, the little red campfire. No smoke, no smell. Great for the outdoors there by the RV. All right. And that is it. Are you guys ready?
10 seconds.
I see confusion. I see confidence. And I see that every day. All right. So you got 10 seconds starting right now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let me see those prices.
What do we got?
Oh,
got
32,
some ranges.
24, oh,
got
45,
some ranges.
54.
Okay.
Now remember, it is the closest price to the total of everything that you saw during that segment. Do you guys feel confident with what you picked?
I don't know.
That's right, too, with the full retail prices. I mean, you're also thinking Tia might be sending a signal as to how much she wants you to sink into that new next RV.
All right.
Could be where we're going. All right, well, Ian, with the range of prices that we have here.
Absolutely. Well, Chris, I think the biggest one in that one, as we saw, was going to be that Pioneer. BH322. Now, that is it's going to be an excellent, entry to mid-level trailer.
Yeah.
Phenomenal updates. But because of that...
What? Yeah, there's no price yet. You don't even know.
The total in the Ultimate Outdoor Showdown for the RV setup is...
We ready? I'm ready.
Oh, okay. $38,012.
Oh, that means 38. Do the math. The Jerky's got it. Yes.
I love seeing the cogs spin. The wheels were spinning. She's like,
I was waiting. I wanted them to figure it out.
It.
They got it. Congratulations. You guys just took home another 2,000 points. So, 2,000, 2,000, 2,000. Soulful RV family.
That's generosity. I love it. That's the good Sam Hart there. I love
Nate,
that.
as much as I love that sentiment, you might want to pump the brakes because we still got 2 more days of competition left with the Ultimate Outdoor Olympics. What's going to happen next? Who's going to take the lead? Who's going to stay in the lead? Who's going to jockey for position? Only one way to find out. Check us out tomorrow with the Ultimate Land, Water, and RV Show.